Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. High Martial Arts Era. Starting with a 100,000-fold increase in comprehension. Chapter 1. 299. 300. 301. 302. The morning light poured into the small room through the windowsill, and the handsome boy with his upper body naked was sweating profusely while doing one-handed push-ups. He stopped only when there was a knock at the door. Xiaoyuan, Auntie has gone to work. Remember to eat the breakfast on the table. Got it. As the door closed, Zhang Yuan supported himself with both hands, exerted force on his abdomen, turned over and stood up, and gently exhaled a breath of turbid air. He glanced at the watch on his left hand and said, "Xiaohei, how long have I been exercising?" A cute black cat appeared on the watch, standing on its feet and making a cute sound. Master got up early today and exercised for 1 hour and 7 minutes. It's great, meow. Zhang Yuan nodded slightly. In the morning, he practiced basic martial arts 10 times, 10 sit-ups, 100 each, and 300 push-ups on each hand, which took a total of 1 hour. This speed is not bad. Open the panel, Zhang Yuan said softly. Character: Zhang Yuan. Race: human race. Level: unclassified. Age: 17. Physical strength: 14. Strength: 12 plus 1. Speed: 11. Spirit: 15. Practice method: basic martial arts, basic breathing method, basic body building method. Evaluation: weaker than an ant. Alas, the attribute panel is still as bad as ever. Zhang Yuan sighed, looked at the time on his watch. It's so late. Oh no, today is the day for awakening and job transfer. I can't be late. After taking a quick shower in 3 minutes, Zhang Yuan quickly finished his breakfast and went out to take the skyrail to school. There were many people on the skyrail in the morning, and Zhang Yuan was lucky enough to grab a seat. Ha! Zhang Yuan yawned while sitting on the skyrail. Suddenly, the view outside the window lit up, and it was the skyrail passing the towering terminal. Zhang Yuan lay by the window, looking out of the transparent window, and murmured softly, "No matter how many times I watch it, it's still very shocking." The view in front of him was very wide, and the sky rail was running in the sky 100 meters above the ground. Below was a suburban residential area, where single-family houses looked very small, and in front of him stood a huge building, like a steel forest made up of hundreds of meters-high buildings. The tracks of the sky rail passed through the city like a steel jungle, and various aircraft flew through the sky of the city with streamers, which was a very sci-fi scene. In the center of the city was a towering clock tower with no visible top. Looking further to the horizon, you can vaguely see a steel wall towering into the clouds, hidden by clouds and fog. If you can see it, it means the weather is good. Welcome to the number 51 Sky Rail Tram. Good morning, passengers in Nanjing City. Today is another peaceful day. The AI-synthesized voice sounded on the radio. Today's morning news. Last night, a small-scale beast tide broke out in the A-level abyss of Area 13 outside the city. It was suppressed by the city garrison commander Qin Zan and his men within half an hour, and a level 6 beast was killed. It is reported that Lu He, the principal of the First Martial Arts Middle School in Nanjing City, has broken through to the 7th level warrior and is expected to run for the next city lord. Regarding the recent abnormal phenomenon in the East China Sea, an authoritative organization suspects that it is very likely caused by a king-level beast. The Sakura Kingdom sent an envoy to Daxia to discuss the details. A new place was discovered outside Beijing City Level 7 Abyss. The local warrior association is organizing warriors to go to open up wasteland. The annual martial arts college entrance examination will begin next month. This is a grand event in Daxia. I don't know how many eye-catching geniuses and dark horses will appear in this session. These students carry the earnest expectations of countless parents. After hard training day and night, they are only for the ideal Wuhan University. No matter what the result is, I want to say to them here, fight for another month, live up to youth, live up to martial arts. Listening to the radio and looking out the window, Zhang Yuan's thoughts are flying. As a time traveler, it has been 17 years since he traveled to this world. He can't tell whether he has traveled to another world or the future of the original world. According to what is written in the history book, 300 years ago, until 2024 AD, all historical trends were exactly the same as the world where Zhongyuan was originally, until 2025. Everything has changed. That year, the abyss plane suddenly descended all over the world, and endless beasts emerged from it. Dragon-like creatures with a length of 1 kilometer built nests on the seabed. Giant trees of 100,000 meters appeared on the north side of the moon. Demon wolves of 100 meters high roared in the wilderness continent, and disasters continued in the places where strange demons passed. The number of humans was reduced by half in the catastrophe. That year is also called the first year of God's abandonment. Fortunately, a full system game called Heavenly Way came and merged with the real world. The world expanded 100 times, and tasks, dungeons, equipment, props, potions and other in-game things appeared one after another. Everyone got a digitized game interface, and they could gain experience points and high-level material equipment by practicing and killing beasts. Some people who awakened super talents soon became strong human beings, embarked on the road to becoming gods, achieved the evolution of life levels, and fought against the abyss. Abandoned by God for 100 years, strong men emerged in the human race, and people with various talents found their own professions. At the same time, with the unity of all mankind, science and technology developed rapidly, and a martial arts order was established that allowed ordinary people to practice and become stronger. Abandoned by God for 200 years, mankind gradually prospered, and strong men successively stepped into the demigod level. Some low-risk abysses were opened as training grounds, and martial arts associations and martial arts universities at all levels were established to train strong men, and began to suppress the counterattack of the abyss. And now, it is the 297th year of the abandonment of God. Why are you so sleepy? I stayed up all night to train last night. Don't say it. I secretly logged into the Starfield with my dad's account last night, and watched a few female anchors live practicing martial arts. My God, that figure, wow, invincible. Is it really that great? Nonsense, didn't you see that my blood and chi have dropped? Two high school students in school uniforms were chatting next to them, and they were talking about the marginal female anchors with great interest. Zhongyuan was not interested. All he was thinking about now was awakening and changing his job. He was born in an ordinary family in this life. His father, Zhang Damu, was a border sentry. He was a first-level warrior and a full-time soldier. He was stationed at the city wall all year round and never went home. His mother, Dao Chunru, awakened her healing talent, changed her job to a physician, and worked as a nurse at the Third People's Hospital of Beijiang City. Now he lives with his aunt in Nanjing City, and his cousin is in the first year of high school. It can be said that apart from his identity as a time traveler and his maternal memories, Zhongyuan is no different from ordinary teenagers at the bottom of society. He does not have the golden finger in the novel, no family background, and nothing but the handsome face called the school grass. In this dangerous, terrifying and magnificent era, only those who awaken powerful talents and professions are qualified to become strong and change their destiny. The Wudao Middle School has arrived. After getting off the SkyTrain, Zhongyuan followed the crowd and took the elevator down the terminal. After walking a few hundred meters, he arrived at the number 1 public martial arts middle school in Nanjing City, which covers an area of thousands of acres. In Daxia, there are hundreds of cities as large as Nanjing City, thousands of martial arts middle schools, and only dozens of martial arts universities. Arrived at the senior class. Students in school uniforms gathered together to chat and play, discussing today's awakening and job transfer ceremony. I'm so nervous. Me too. Don't worry, we can definitely awaken to mages. I'll be thankful if I can become a healer. A small group of girls gathered together to cheer each other up. Brother Chang, are you confident? A boy asked with a smile. A wretched man wiped his nose and said confidently, I can definitely awaken S-level talent, just wait and see. It's so funny, only you can awaken S-level. If you can awaken S-level, I will recognize you as my father. That's right, you can only awaken E-level at most. A hand was placed on Zhongyuan's arm, and when he turned his head, it was his good friend Chen Hao. How is it, are you confident about awakening today? Chen Hao asked with a smile. Not a little, you don't look like it. As they talked, they came to Zhongyuan's seat. A petite girl with a bun-like hair and a delicate face was sleeping soundly on the table. Zhongyuan, Best friend and good friend Chen Hao leaned close to Zhang Yuan's ear and smiled. Does Boss Guan like you? What nonsense. The girl's name is Guan Sha Sha, and she is currently one of the 3 strongest people in the class. Zhang Yuan sat in Guan Sha Sha's seat, and Chen Hao moved a chair over to gossip. Otherwise, why does she always sleep in your seat instead of others? I feel that Boss Guan likes you. If your awakened talent today is not good, you can consider eating soft rice. Before he finished speaking, a boy pointed outside the window and shouted, "Look, it's a teleportation array." Everyone in the class immediately gathered at the window and looked out. A huge array with a magical light appeared on the playground that could accommodate tens of thousands of people. This is the teleportation array. If you stand on it, you will be teleported to the initial temple for awakening and job change. A boy's face was full of anticipation. I heard that as long as you are over 16 years old, you can be teleported to the initial temple for talent awakening and job change by standing on the array. A girl said nervously. That's right. Strong professions will be teleported into dungeons to experience tests, and those with high scores will receive additional rewards. What if you don't pass? Job change failed. Hiss. I'm getting more and more nervous. Soon, the head teacher Zhang Yiming walked into the class and called everyone to the playground. All the senior classes on the playground arrived one after another. What profession do you want to change to the most? For me, I'd rather be an assassin. I can come and go without a trace, so cool. I think auxiliary professions are also good. I can make my own contribution without fighting monsters. I still want to change to a warrior. Archer is also good. Archers have always been very popular. The students were very excited. Chen Hao glanced and pulled Zhang Yuan's sleeve. Look, the people from Class S are coming. Zhang Yuan turned his head and saw the people from Class S coming. Their momentum was obviously different from the surrounding students. Wherever they passed, ordinary students avoided them, fearing that they would not be able to dodge them. Among the group of people, 5 people were the most dazzling and eye-catching, 2 women and 3 men. It's Sha Qinghu, the first in S class, the Sha family's genius. I heard that he is about to become a warrior. I wonder what talent he will awaken this time. There are also Qin Nansen from the Qin family and Lin Junhao from Baihei group. They are all the top talents in the school. Luo Shi and Lin Qingyan, the 2 school beauties, are also here. They are so beautiful. If there are S-level talents and rare professions today, they must be born among them. Zhang Yuan looked at those geniuses. They were all full of energy and vigor, and they were as dazzling as the stars in the sky. Especially the 2 girls. One had purple hair and purple eyes, a smile on her lips, a beautiful face, and a height of nearly 1.75 meters. Her figure under the white school uniform was extremely graceful, with a wasp waist and a perky butt, and a pair of long white legs that were simply breathtaking. The girl exuded an unparalleled charm despite her age. One had black hair and blue eyes, and was tall. She is about 1.7 meters tall, with 3,000 black hair falling down to her thighs. Her palm-sized snow-white face has delicate features, flawless beauty, and a cold expression like ice. She doesn't take anyone seriously, and looks like an iceberg, extremely cold. The 2 school beauties standing together are really good for their looks. Chen Hao sighed. I wonder what professions they will change to. After a while, Principal Lu He appeared on the high platform. Teachers and some official strongmen stood on all sides of the magic circle, ready to respond to emergencies at any time. Students, after 3 years of training and learning, you have already had a basic understanding of the world and a deep understanding of those who change their professions. Lu He spoke, and the students below listened attentively. Today is the job transfer ceremony, and it is also the day that determines your fate and future life. A strong profession is good, but even if you have weak talents and professions, it does not mean that you cannot grow into a respected strong man. No matter what profession you transfer to or what kind of talent you awaken, I hope you can accept the reality with a normal mind. I won't say any more nonsense. Now, job transfer array, open. Good luck to you. As his words fell, the huge teleportation array emitted a ray of light and soared into the sky. When the light faded, all the students on the playground disappeared. I don't know how many rare professions will appear this year. The 6th-level magician vice principal stroked his beard and said. Dean of Studies, the few geniuses in Class S should be very likely. Lu He shook his head. Who knows, nothing can be said before the results come out. Is this the initial temple in charge of talent and job transfer? Zhang Yuan looked at the magnificent and sacred hall in front of him, his eyes full of shock. There are statues of angels on both sides, and on the high platform is a huge suspended crystal, which seems to have a galaxy flowing inside. It seems that all I need to do is put my hand on it. Zhang Yuan walked forward and put his hand on the crystal. The crystal radiated light. Welcome the human race from Blue Star to the initial temple. Talent is randomly selected. Zhang Yuan's body lit up, and then a faint flame rose from his palm. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the E-level talent, Burning Wood Fire. Zhang Yuan's expression instantly stiffened, as if he had been constipated for 10 days. From low to high, the talents are F, E, D, C, B, A, S, SS, SSS. E-level. Zhang Yuan smiled bitterly. This is too low, it is simply embarrassing for the majority of traversers. Just when he was discouraged, the crystal suddenly burst into an extremely bright colorful light, illuminating the entire initial temple. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the original primary exclusive talent, Unlimited Amplification. The more you play, the more you will be able to play. Looking at the colorful entries in front of him, Zhang Yuan couldn't help but wipe his eyes, he couldn't believe it. Exclusive talent for the original primary level. What level is this? Is there a bug? He hurried to check. Infinite Amplification, original primary level. Effect. After activation, you can randomly amplify any one of your comprehension, physical body, talent, skills, and equipment. The amplification effect is random, with a minimum amplification of 100,000 times, no upper limit, and a permanent effect. There is a chance to evolve the amplified ability to a higher level. Every time you upgrade a life level, you can get an amplification opportunity. Currently available. 1 time. Evaluation. Infinite amplification, infinite evolution, and the ability to surpass the gods. Zhang Yuan pinched his face. Am I dreaming? This is too powerful. The minimum increase is 100,000 times. If he increases his physical body, wouldn't he become a Superman immediately? It can be used once every time you increase your level, infinitely become stronger. Invincible. Too invincible. Ding! Searching your various attributes, randomly matching you with a suitable profession. Matching completed. Very quickly. 6 options appeared in front of Zhang Yuan. Assassin common, a killer who comes and goes without a trace, with amazing single target burst damage. Blood warrior rare, a warrior who gains super attack power by bursting blood, with blood sucking and blood bursting skills. Light master epic, an elemental mage who can use light skills, with both damage and healing skills, and can perform range attacks and single target attacks. Qigong master legend, a warrior who has mastered the essence of qi, and his skills ignore defense. Spell master legend master the power of words. Martial god myth. Hiss. Zhang Yuan took a breath. 5 of the 6 professions are rare. There is even a mythical profession, which is unheard of. You should know that in the entire Nanjiang city, there are very few people with rare professions. The epic ones can be counted on one hand, and they are all top-level strongmen. Which one should I choose? Zhang Yuan remembered that the school taught him to choose the profession that suits him best, and he couldn't help but get into a dilemma. Qigong master is good, and spell master is also good. Martial god, a mythical profession, I have never heard of it, but there is no introduction at all. The difficulty of the job change challenge is probably hell level. If the challenge fails, the job change will fail. Please make a choice quickly. Countdown 30.29. In the end, Zhang Yuan chose to take a gamble. You choose to change to a special profession, martial god mythical. You need to complete the challenge. The challenge difficulty is divided into normal, difficult, and nightmare. Complete the challenge of the corresponding difficulty to successfully change the job and get the corresponding reward. Zhang Yuan thought about it. I choose the nightmare difficulty. Since I have already made a bet, I might as well bet big. Put all my hopes on the talent infinite amplification. You have completed your choice and will be teleported into the challenge area. A ray of light enveloped Zhang Yuan. When he opened his eyes again, he had come to a new area. Welcome to the first level of the challenge tower. There are 10 levels in total, and the challenge is completed after clearing 10 levels. A copy of you will appear in front of you. Please defeat him within 1 minute, otherwise the challenge will fail. The moment the words fell, a fake Zhang Yuan appeared opposite Zhang Yuan, clenched his fist and rushed towards Zhang Yuan. It was exactly the same as Zhang Yuan in terms of strength, speed, and martial arts. It's worthy of the nightmare difficulty. The first level is so difficult. Zhang Yuan thought to himself while resisting. It's impossible to defeat my own copy within 1 minute. There's no way. Use infinite amplification. Ding, you use the original primary skill infinite amplification on yourself. The effect is random, your understanding is amplified by 100,000 times, and it evolves into a god-level talent supreme analysis. Before Zhang Yuan could react, his mind banged, as if chaos exploded. A rainbow light flashed across his dark pupils. In Zhang Yuan's perception, time seemed to slow down hundreds and thousands of times at this moment, and his brain became extremely flexible. Billions of stars appeared in the sea of consciousness, arranged, intertwined, and calculated. The movements of the opposite replica became extremely slow in his eyes, and tens of thousands of plans appeared to counterattack. Ding, your basic martial arts skills have reached the perfect level after understanding and deduction. Ding, you have understood the ripple force technique. The clone rushed to the front, with eyes open and a dull expression. Zhang Yuan, who seemed to be sleepwalking, turned his head, avoided the attack, and smashed the clone's head with a backhand punch. Was I so weak before? Zhang Yuan looked at his hands and said in a daze. The first level challenge is successful, strength attribute plus 10. You are about to be teleported to the second level. Zhang Yuan came to the second level, and the number of clones increased to 2. The 2 clones of Zhang Yuan attacked Zhang Yuan at the same time with weak flames burning in their hands. Did they even copy the talent this time? Zhang Yuan thought to himself, with a rainbow light flashing in his eyes. But, it's still too weak. Dodge the attack, a punch and a knee kick, and it was solved instantly. Second level challenge successful, speed attribute plus 10. Third level challenge successful, physical strength plus 10. Fourth level challenge successful, spirit plus 10. Fifth level challenge successful, luck plus 1. Sixth level challenge successful, luck plus 3. Seventh level challenge successful, all attributes plus 10. Eighth level challenge successful, all attributes plus 15. Ninth level challenge successful, all attributes plus 20. As Zhang Yuan defeated 10 of himself in 1 minute, the trial tower instantly emitted dazzling colorful light, and salutes burst, as if it was a special effect of success. 10th level challenge successful, all attributes doubled. Congratulations on completing all challenges, completing nightmare level job transfer, and obtaining a rich treasure chest 1. Congratulations on your job transfer to the myth level job, God of War only 1. Ding, you have acquired the exclusive skill, limit of strength passive specialization. Ding, you have acquired the exclusive skill, divine evasion. Ding, you have acquired the exclusive skill, starburst. Ding, you have acquired the exclusive skill, super speed. The last word is to be used. The prompts sounded one after another. Zhang Yuan couldn't wait to check. Limit of power passive skill, the 4-dimensional attributes of the martial god who has comprehended the ultimate power are increased by 10 times. Triggering the near-death state, all attributes can be increased to 30 times in a short time. Divine avoidance, a special move that requires holding a weapon and consumes half of the physical strength to perform. Ignore defense, cannot dodge. The critical damage caused can reach 1000%. Cooldown time, 5 minutes. Starburst, explode the whole body's blood and enter the starburst state. In this state, 1% of physical strength is consumed per second, and all negative effects are removed. Ignore any control. Defense increased by 1000%, attack speed increased by 500%, critical hit rate increased by 300%, no cooldown. Speed, consume a certain amount of physical strength, flash to the target's side cannot be controlled by control skills range increases with level current range 300 meters cooldown time, 3 seconds. Refresh after killing the target. Hiss. Zhang Yuan widened his eyes and couldn't help but gasp. The tenfold attribute increase of the passive weapon is already abnormal enough. The following 3 active skills are equally abnormal to an exaggerated degree. Is this a mythical profession? Too scary. It's just like using a cheat. Zhang Yuan couldn't help swallowing his saliva. He suppressed his excitement and checked the current attribute panel. Character: Zhang Yuan. Race: human. Age: 17. Level: unranked. Profession: martial god mythology. Talent: infinite amplification, original, supreme analysis, god level, burning wood fire, E level. Physical strength: 630. Strength: 610. Speed: 620. Spirit: 670. Luck: 5. Passive specialization: limit of strength. Skills: divine avoidance, starburst, divine speed. Practice method: ripple force technique, basic martial arts perfect level, basic breathing method, basic body forging method. Horror: it's so terrifying. Even Zhang Yuan himself couldn't help but feel shocked when looking at such an attribute panel. You know, the 4-dimensional attributes of a normal adult are between 6 and 10 points. For ordinary professionals to register as a first-level warrior, they need to reach a basic blood of 10 and a strength of 100. Zhang Yuan relied on the reward for passing the trial tower, plus the increase of his passive special weapon, strength limit, and his strength broke through 600. If you tell others about it, it might scare people to death on the spot. You should know that even if a warrior who has changed his job reaches the limit of LV9, the limit of a first-level warrior, the 10 attribute points gained for each level up are all added to strength, which is only 90 points, and it is good enough to reach 200 points of strength. But now Zhang Yuan has not even reached LV1, but he has a 4-dimensional attribute of up to 600. If he uses skills, the attack power will increase tenfold. It will break the trend of 6,000. It is close to the limit of a 3rd-level warrior professional warrior. Zhang Yuan took a deep breath to calm down his shocked and excited mood, and was about to open the reward treasure chest obtained by passing the nightmare trial. You have completed the job transfer and will be teleported back to the original place in 10 seconds. Forget it, let's go back and take a look. Zhang Yuan thought, and a hazy divine light appeared around his body. I wonder what talent house he has awakened and what job he has changed to. On the playground of martial arts high school, one after another, figures appeared in the light. Great, I changed my job to a mage. I awakened AC level talent, which is not bad. What about you? Don't mention it, I changed my job to a chef. Some people cheered excitedly, while others were dejected. In class 3, the girl who had said she wanted to change her job to a mage squatted on the ground and cried because she became a farmer after the transfer. The wretched boy who said he would definitely awaken his S-level talent tilted his head 45 degrees and shed tears. I actually changed my job to become a dancer, and my talent is to become a rooster. Do you want me to sing and dance rap? Guan Sha Sha changed her job to become a rare professional shadow mage, awakening her A-level talent, causing quite a stir. The classmates surrounded her and showed their courtesy. Xiao Xiao, you are too good. You are sure to get into a Wuhan University next time. The shadow mage is too handsome. When you become a big shot in the future, you must not forget us old classmates. Chen Hao turned his head and check everywhere. Why hasn't Yuanzi come out yet? Chen Hao, how are you? Zhang Yiming came over and asked. Chen Hao scratched his head. C-level talent animal affinity, change job to veterinarian, I think it suits me. Zhang Yiming nodded. Very good. Suddenly, there was an exclamation from the crowd in front. Sha Qinghu is out. Everyone turned their heads to look. A tall and handsome boy appeared from the light. Lu He came over and asked, Sha classmate, what talent have you awakened? Everyone stared at him intently. Sha Qinghu smiled slightly and raised his hand to form a storm. I awakened the S-level natural sequence talent, Storm Incarnation. Changed to an epic class, Storm Dancer. Hiss. In an instant, the sound of sucking in cold air came one after another. S-class. The first S-class this year. And it's an epic class, too strong. You are worthy of being the first prodigy of S-class. Everyone looked at him with admiration and awe, and some female classmates even put their hands on their chests and looked at him with love in their eyes. Ha ha ha. Lu He laughed heartily, well done. Soon, Qin Nansen, Lin Junhao, Luo Shi, and Lin Qingyan also appeared from the light. Except for Lin Qingyan, who still looked indifferent as ice. The other three all raised their chins with proud looks, and the feeling of high spirits almost came over them. Qin Nansen awakened the S-class attack talent, Iron Master, and changed his job to the epic rare class, Sword Master. Luo Shi awakened the S-class spiritual sequence talent, Dark Illumination, and changed his job to the legendary rare class, Illusion Master. Lin Junhao awakened the S-class natural talent, Wood Dragon Sensen, and changed his job to the rare class, Wood Element Master. Oh my god, 4 S-level talents, and an epic class. Too strong. In previous years, it was a big deal to have 1 talent, but this year, we have 4. Our school is too strong. How can the gap between people be so big? Several geniuses were like stars supporting the moon, enjoying the admiration, envy, and awe of their classmates. Luo Shi smiled at Lin Qingyan. Student Lin, I thought you would awaken an S-level talent, but it turned out to be only an A-level. Lin Qingyan awakened an A-level healing sequence talent, the Ring of Healing, and switched to an ordinary class, a therapist. Faced with Luo Zai's provocation, Lin Qingyan looked normal. I think it suits me very well. Luo Shi raised a fascinating arc at the corner of his mouth, thinking that she was just being stubborn. Chen Hao looked around anxiously. It's almost over, why hasn't Yuanzi come out yet? Guan Sha Sha in the crowd also turned around and looked around, as if looking for someone. Suddenly, she saw Zhang Yuan's figure emerge from the light and her eyes flashed. The two of them were so busy that they had to face each other. Chen Hao also saw Zhang Yuan and ran over immediately. Yuanzi, how are you? Zhang Yuan was about to speak. Suddenly, at the edge of the magic circle, a riot broke out. Among the teachers who were responsible for guarding the magic circle, 3 people suddenly attacked. One of them pierced the chest of the female teacher next to him from behind with his palm and knife. Another raised his hand towards Lu He and others, and a barrier trapped Lu He and his group. The remaining one kicked his feet and jumped high, coming towards Sha Qinghu and other geniuses, raising his hand to summon several thunders that roared and struck down. Too sudden. Before the students could react, the extremely destructive attack had already arrived in front of them, and even the teacher was unable to rescue them. How dare you! Lu He roared like thunder, instantly shattering the barrier. He flashed in front of the barrier master and slapped his head into his chest with one palm. The white-haired vice principal raised his cane, and a barrier appeared instantly, blocking the attack of the thunder. The dean of teaching swelled up, shattered his shirt, and rushed to the killer who attacked the female teacher at a very fast speed, and knocked him hundreds of meters away with one punch. The killer with thunder wrapped around his body saw that the situation was not good, and instead of retreating, he shouted. For the abyss. He ran straight into the barrier, and the whole person exploded, and the terrifying impact force mixed with lightning shattered the barrier. Even if Sha Qinghu and other geniuses used their talents to resist, they were still blown away. Although they were not injured, they looked a little embarrassed with their dusty faces. It's these abyss believers again. Lu He cursed in a low voice. A bunch of lunatics. PFF'd, PFFT. Chen Hao got up from the ground and spit out the dust in his mouth. I've heard that the lunatics of the abyss believers would attack some geniuses who have awakened S-level talents. It's true. This scene made Zhang Yuan's eyelids jump. Geniuses with prominent family backgrounds and awakened S-level talents would be attacked by suicide attacks like this. What if my talent and profession were exposed? Wouldn't there be 7th level and 8th level abyss believers who would come all the way to kill me? I'm not the kind of traverser who becomes an orphan and has no worries after crossing over. I still have my parents, my aunt's family, and 2 cousins. I can't involve them all in the list of lunatics of the abyss believers. Sure enough, I'd better stay safe. By the way, Yuanzi, what did you awaken? Assassin, mage, Chen Hao asked curiously. I awakened an E-level talent and changed my profession to an assassin. Hearing Zhang Yuan's words, Chen Hao's expression was surprised at first, then full of sympathy and pity. He put his hand on Zhang Yuan's shoulder and comforted him. I thought I was already pretty rubbish, but I didn't expect you to be even rubbish. Look at it more positively. Life still has to go on. Even if you can't become a big shot, with your face, you can still be a duck. Get lost. Okay, soon. The storm was settled, and the injured teachers and students were sent to the infirmary for treatment by therapists. The other students returned to the classroom to register. As for those who awakened to S level, they all went to the principal's office to undergo another test to avoid mistakes. Class 3. Guan Sha Sha, awaken A-level talent, change job to Shadow Mage. Zheng Hang, awaken A-level talent, change job to Lancer. Huang Yi, awaken B-level talent, change job to Warrior. Chen Hao, awaken C-level talent, change job to Veterinarian. Zhang Yuan, awaken E-level talent, change job to Assassin. Hearing Zhang Yiming on the stage say this, many girls in the class couldn't help but look at Zhang Yuan, both surprised and regretful. I didn't expect that the most beautiful class flower in the class actually awakened the worst talent, what a pity. Some female classmates who had a crush on Zhang Yuan became visibly distant, disgusted, and even stopped looking at him. Lu Hong, I remember you had a crush on Zhang Yuan before, now is a good opportunity to make a move. A female student teased. Who likes him? I won't like an E-level waste. That's right, I thought he had potential and could awaken A-level talent, but I didn't expect to be wrong. What's the use of being handsome? E-level talent is not worth mentioning. Several boys who awakened low-level talents were also smiling when they saw someone worse than themselves. I thought my D-level talent was bad enough, but I didn't expect there would be worse ones. So what if he's the class flower? He's still E-class. I'm ugly, so what? D-class is worse than E-class. Listening to the whispers of these people, Chen Hao couldn't help but glance at Zhang Yuan. Yuanzi, don't take it to heart. Zhang Yuan smiled and said, don't worry, I'm not that fragile yet. It's better to say that he doesn't take these people seriously at this moment. Even the geniuses in Class S are not worth his attention. Zhang Yiming finished the registration, confirmed that everything was correct, stood on the podium and looked at the students and said, the job transfer ceremony is over, and there is only 1 month left before the college entrance examination. Don't think that everything will be fine after awakening your talent. If you want to go to WUDA, you still have to seize this month to familiarize yourself with your talent and professional skills. At the same time, it is also necessary to polish your blood. You should know that if you want to enter the abyss and dungeons in various places, you must at least become a first-level warrior. This is the rule. The definition of a job transfer warrior in the textbook flashed through Zhang Yuan's mind. There are 9 levels of warriors, with the first level being the lowest and the 9th level being the highest. First level warriors are LV1 LV9. Second level warriors are LV10 LV19. Third level warriors are LV20 LV29. 9th level warriors are LV90 LV99. Generally, 7th level warriors can be called masters, 8th level warriors are called great masters, and LV99 warriors are called titled masters. Breaking through level 100 is called a king level warrior. Going up as a demigod, reaching LV 150. Even a first level warrior at LV 1 has a strength of more than 1,000 kilograms and a speed of 30 meters per second, surpassing the limits of ordinary humans and entering another level of life. However, most students in martial arts high schools cannot reach this basic level. Some people, after completing their awakening job change, will never reach the first level warrior level in their entire lives. I think you should also know this. So from now on, we must lay a solid foundation, especially if we aim to become a martial arts master. We must never relax. Even if the awakening talent sequence is high, it is a compulsory course to strengthen the body and blood every day. So today we will test the blood and blood values to see if you have slacked off in your training during this period. Sui Jing, come up, you are the first. Chen Hao, blood and blood 2.197. Not qualified. Hearing what the head teacher Zhang Yiming said, Chen Hao walked off the stage in frustration. Next, Zhang Yuan. Guan Sha Sha raised her head. Zhang Yuan stepped forward and put his finger into the blood and blood measuring machine. Soon, the number 2.332 appeared on the crystal surface. The classmates in the class made a slightly surprised sound. In front of the podium, Zhang Yuan exhaled lightly. Zhang Yuan, Qi and blood 2.332, passed. Zhang Yiming looked at the boy in front of him, feeling a little sorry. I thought he would be like Guan Sha Sha, at least awaken AB level talent, but unexpectedly it was E level. Not bad, compared to last month, Qi and blood increased by 0.151, it seems that you haven't been slack in exercise during this period. Since you passed the test, this month, which is also the last student subsidy of the senior year, will be transferred to your card later, please check it. The boy nodded. Thank you, Teacher Zhang. Zhang Yiming looked at the handsome boy in front of him, thin body, dark eyes, revealing a tenacious temperament. Although his talent E-level is very ordinary and his family background is ordinary, he is calm enough, hardworking, and not arrogant or impatient. Zhang Yiming patted his shoulder. Although the awakened talent is insufficient, according to your recent increase, if it can increase to more than 2.8, there is still hope for admission to a second-tier university, try hard. Zhang Yuan has not answered yet. A sneer came. Just him, an E-level trash. Everyone's eyes converged on Huang Yi, who had yellow hair. He swung his stool backwards, holding his head and looking at Zhang Yuan with contempt. No martial arts conference would want an E-level trash, dream on. Chen Hao secretly raised his middle finger under the table and lowered his voice, you are pretending. Ignoring the yellow-haired man's ridicule, he didn't bother to pay attention at all. Zhang Yuan said to Zhang Yiming, I will try my best. After saying that, he turned around and walked straight back to his seat. When he passed by the yellow-haired man's seat, as if he was dissatisfied with his bland reaction, the yellow-haired man suddenly sneered with contempt and ridicule. Even a low-level trash like you with E-level talent can increase your chi and health by 0.15 points in a month. Could it be that your useless father who was a soldier died and you used the death pension to buy tonics to eat it? The classroom was quiet. Zhang Yuan stopped, turned his head to look at the yellow-haired boy, and said coldly, what did you just say? Seeing his cold eyes, Huang Yi panicked for no reason, and a trace of fear rose inexplicably. Realizing this, he became more and more angry. Can a mere E-level trash scare him? Creak. With the sound of the tables, chairs and benches moving, Huang Yi stood up and looked down at Zhang Yuan, who was half a head shorter than him. What if I say it again? You are a waste. Trash. Chen Hao couldn't help but stand up and yell, Huang Yi, I kill you. It's none of your business whether Zhang Yuan passes the exam or not. Guan Sha Sha stepped on the bench, rolled up her school uniform sleeves, and cursed, what are you barking about? Didn't you just awaken a B-level talent? What's so good about pretending? Practice with me if you dare. Everyone was surprised. They didn't expect Guan Sha Sha, who changed to a rare profession, to speak for Zhang Yuan. Zhang Yuan couldn't help but look at his former neighbor twice. Guan Sha Sha, isn't it asking for trouble to fight you? I admit that I can't beat you, I admit defeat. Bah, coward. Guan Sha Sha pouted, put her hands on her waist and said, apologize to Zhang Yuan. Huang Yi glanced at Zhang Yuan in front of him. I respect those who are better than me, but it doesn't mean I will apologize to a piece of trash. Guan Sha Sha's delicate and pretty face was full of annoyance. What did you say? Huang Yi raised his hand, clenched his fist, his muscles bulged, and grinned at the thin boy who was half a head shorter than him. I only believe in strength. In this era, the strong are respected. Everything is decided by force. If he can beat me, let alone apologize, I will kneel down and kowtow to him and call him daddy. Quote. The question is, does he have the strength to do so? Huang Yi looked around and sneered. In my opinion, except for you and Zheng Heng in this class, all of you are garbage. A fat man stood up and said angrily, Huang Yi, UTM. Huang Yi sneered. What, you don't accept it? Looking at his raised huge fist, the fat man immediately became timid again and sat down obediently. My chi and blood value has broken through 3, and I have awakened the B-level sequence talent. It is a foregone conclusion that I will be admitted to a first-tier Wuhan University. And even if you try your best, you may not be able to get into a second-tier Wuhan University. Huang Yi said proudly, with a very arrogant tone. When I go to college, I will get more resources, and the gap between you and me will only get bigger. It won't be long before you can't even see my back. If you want to fight me, do it now. I'll give you this opportunity today. In another month, you won't even be qualified to be in the same room with me. Although everyone was angry, no one stood up, and a sense of powerlessness swept through their bodies. His words were cold and ruthless, but they were the cold reality. In front of talent and family background, personal efforts are really not worth mentioning. Huang Yi looked at Zhang Yuan and sneered, Coward, you are a useless person who can only hide behind women. I am annoyed when I see you serious and working hard. You want to become a strong man without any talent, bah. If hard work is useful, the streets will be full of warriors. Even if I only exercise for 2 hours a day and take some tonics, I can surpass you by a lot. My talent can even crush you. I just want to ask you if you are angry. Zhang Yuan looked at him coldly, and then looked at Zhang Yiming and said, Teacher Zhang, I apply for a trial battle room. Zhang Yiming was stunned, and Guan Sha Sha also turned her head and looked at him in surprise. Chen Hao looked at Zhang Yuan and advised, Zhang Yuan, don't be impulsive, impulse is the devil. Huang Yi clenched his fist and grinned, hey, you still have some courage. If I don't knock you to your knees today, I will be considered hungry. Zhang Yiming also looked at Zhang Yuan and advised, Zhang Yuan, don't act on impulse. The implication is, don't ask for trouble. Zhang Yuan shook his head. Since someone is looking for death, how can I not help him? Seeing that he has made up his mind, Zhang Yiming can't say anything. In this difficult era full of crises, the road to becoming a strong person requires countless battles, and being in battle is a compulsory course, so all major martial arts colleges have regulations as long as it does not endanger life. Students are allowed or even encouraged to fight privately under the supervision of teachers. Zhang Yiming sighed helplessly, clicked on the watch, and used the teacher's authority. Boom! The classroom began to shake, the walls around expanded outward, and the tables and chairs retracted into the ground by themselves. The classroom used for teaching instantly turned into an empty battle room full of technological metallic luster. Zhang Yiming. Unarmed fighting, I give you 10 minutes. Huang Yi walked forward and clenched his fist, not giving Zhang. Huang Yi took it seriously. It won't take 10 minutes, it can be over in 1 minute. He stretched out his right hand and waved to Zhang Yuan provocatively, come on, you useless. Don't blame me for not giving you a chance. The next second, Zhang Yuan suddenly appeared in front of him and punched him. The fist stopped in front of Huang Yi, and the fierce and hot wind blew up his bangs wantonly. Huang Yi's expression was dull, and cold sweat oozed from his forehead. The onlookers, Zhang Yiming, Guan Sha Sha and others were also shocked. Did you see it clearly? Hiss. So fast, how could it be so fast? Isn't he an E-level talent? What's wrong, don't you like to scream? Is that all you can do? Listening to Zhang Yuan's sneer and mockery, Huang Yi was angry. I was careless just now. Now I'm going to get serious. As he said that, he took a step forward, clenched his right fist, and hit Zhang Yuan's face hard. There was no ripple on Zhang Yuan's face. With such an attack, he didn't even need to dodge. Zhang Yuan's body shook very slightly, and a strange blood and chi power spread out like ripples in the form of vibration, like blood-red ripples, and bounced off Huang Yi's grab. What? Huang Yi's eyes flashed with disbelief. Zhang Yuan's body rushed up at an incredible angle, and in an instant he came in front of Huang Yi. Without waiting for his reaction, he made a palm with his right hand and grabbed his face. Before Huang Yi could react to what happened, an amazing force came from his face, causing him to lose balance and fall backwards uncontrollably. Bang! Huang Yi was knocked to the ground, staring blankly at the ceiling, doubting his life. Chen Hao, who had not dared to watch, couldn't help but blink when he saw this scene, looking confused. The whole audience was silent, everyone was stunned by this scene. The fat man swallowed his saliva. Zhang Yuan knocked Huang Yi over. Oh my god, how did he do it? What's going on? Everything happened so fast that almost everyone didn't see what happened clearly. They thought Huang Yi had won, but suddenly the situation reversed. Huang Yi didn't realize what happened until then. He got up from the ground in disbelief and looked at Zhang Yuan angrily. What did you do? Nothing, it's just that you are too weak. Zhang Yuan looked contemptuous. I thought you were so strong after awakening your B-level talent, but I didn't expect you to be so weak. Rubbish. Zhang Yuan spit out 2 words lightly, looking down at him with disdain. He had already controlled the power before awakening to deal with Huang Yi, and only used martial arts, but he didn't expect that the other party didn't even have the power to resist. It's the increase of martial arts. Zhang Yiming said, his eyes full of surprise. If qi and blood are fuel, then martial arts are the firearms that exert their power. Powerful martial arts can even increase their own combat power by 5 to 10 times. It's impossible. In our class, except Zhang Heng, who has practiced basic boxing to a small success, everyone else is just a beginner. Some people don't want to believe it. But in our class, apart from Zhang Heng, Zhang Yuan has the highest score in basic boxing class. Did he achieve minor success? Zhang Heng frowned. Not minor success. Minor success doesn't have such an increase. I'm going to kill you. Feeling extremely ashamed of being mocked by the E-level trash, Huang Yi was furious. He kicked hard and bounced up, rushing towards Zhang Yuan like a tiger, trying to crush Zhang Yuan with all his strength. Looking at the yellowish hard substance on his body, a classmate exclaimed, "It's Huang Yi's talent." It's over. Zhang Yuan is an assassin who has changed his job. He is not a warrior, so he definitely can't break the B-level defense talent. But the moment the voice fell, Zhang Yuan kicked out. Fast, accurate and ruthless. With a sharp sound of wind. This powerful kick was perfect in terms of angle, strength, speed, and timing, and accurately hit the weak point of defense. The yellowish armor-like substance covering Huang Yi's body instantly shattered and collapsed. Huang Yi's strong body flew backwards like a cannonball under the force of the kick. The boy who just said that Zhang Yuan would never be able to break through the defense opened his mouth wide, and he was completely dumbfounded. What the hell is going on? Bang! Huang Yi hit the metal wall heavily, stirring up countless smoke and dust. Looking at Huang Yi, who slid down the metal wall like mud and fainted with his eyes rolled back. Everyone swallowed their saliva and looked at Zhang Yuan blankly. It's hard to imagine. That thin body can actually have such a terrifying explosive power. I dare not believe it. Believe, shocked, surprised, hard to accept. 2 moves to defeat Huang Yi. Is this an E-level talent? Am I dreaming, or is this world crazy? Someone come and pinch me. Chen Hao hugged his head and scratched it hard. Unbelievable, what's going on? Is this still the Zhang Yuan I know? When did he become so fierce? The whole class was in shock. Zhang Yuan didn't even look at Huang Yi on the ground, and said to Zhang Yiming, "Teacher Zhang, the college entrance examination is not long away. I want to take a leave to practice at home." Zhang Yiming came back to his senses and nodded, "Yes, yes." Zhang Yuan nodded and walked out of the classroom. When he left, the students in the classroom behind him reacted and exploded. What's going on with Zhang Yuan? How did he become so powerful all of a sudden? Isn't he an E-level talent? Did he take some tonic? Is his family unable to afford tonic? To be honest, what's going on? His talent and blood are not as good as Huang Yi's, but he killed Huang Yi in a second. I can't figure it out. Chen Hao, do you know? I don't know. Chen Hao smiled bitterly. Sitting on the SkyTrain on the way home, looking at the familiar scenery outside the window, Zhang Yuan felt clearer and more relaxed than ever before. Original talent, God-level job transfer, it's like a dream. But the surging power in his body is reminding him all the time. This is not a dream. It's real. Become a strong man, a famous figure, and let my parents live a stable and prosperous life. These dreams that Zhang Yuan once had are no longer out of reach at this moment. You have a new message, meow. The watch vibrated, and the smart assistant Black Cat sent a reminder. Zhang Yuan clicked on it and saw that it was from his father. Zhang Damu. Son, have you been hard at school recently? How was your job awakening today? Quote. It seems that his father is also concerned about this matter. Zhang Yuan could feel his anxiety through the screen. If he told him that he had awakened a talent above SSS level and changed his job to a mythical job that was not recorded, he would probably faint on the spot. Zhang Yuan smiled and decided to lie. I awakened an E-level talent and changed my job to an assassin. After a long while, his father sent a message. The E-level talent is a bit poor, but don't be discouraged. The strength of a warrior is not entirely based on talent. The college entrance examination is coming soon. You must not slack off. You must make good use of this last period of time to hone your physique and practice martial arts. Dad paid his salary today and put some money into your card. You can use it to buy some beast meat to supplement. Quote. You are growing up now, and your energy and blood are surging. Don't be reluctant. Spend what you need. If it's not enough, ask Dad for more. Zhang Yuan felt warm in his heart. Okay, I know. Dad, you should be careful too. Zhang Damu replied quickly. Yes, Dad knows, don't worry. Filled circle, lower half circle, filled circle. Zhang Yuan laughed dumbly. You can also send emoticons. Dad must have learned it online again. By the way, I have to tell Mom. Back home, Aunt and cousin haven't come back yet. Zhang Yuan locked himself in the room, opened the attribute panel, and opened the reward treasure chest for clearing the trial tower. You open the treasure chest and get auxiliary skills, identification. Get rare equipment, crimson wristband. Get contracted soul beast egg 1. Zhang Yuan clicks to view. Identification active skill can identify unbound equipment, fierce beasts, detailed attributes of items, cooling time, 10 minutes. Crimson wristband rare equipment attack power plus 15, defense power plus 10, attack speed increased by 20%. Contracted soul beast egg. After hatching, you can get a soul beast that has contracted with your soul, which will be upgraded as your level increases. The current hatching time required, 50 days. Not bad. Quote, Zhang Yuan put on the scarlet wristband and nodded with satisfaction. A rare piece of equipment on the market is also worth $1 million, and the identification skills can only be mastered by changing jobs to appraisers. Some change jobs warriors have to spend money to find appraisers for identification after obtaining any equipment materials. It can be said that it is a very popular profession. As for the contracted soul beast egg, it is placed in the system backpack, waiting to hatch, to see if it can give itself a surprise. Zhang Yuan sat cross-legged on the bed, pinching his chin and thinking about what to do next. 1. Killing monsters to upgrade and become stronger is the fastest shortcut for Zhang Yuan. He can also hone his skills and experience through fighting, but to enter the abyss and dungeons, he needs to become a first-level warrior. 2. Practice on your own, improve your chi and blood through potions and exercise, and slowly become stronger. In short, you still have to become a first-level warrior first. But normal practice is too slow. Go. Buying a gene drug that increases chi and blood is not an option either, it's too expensive. Zhang Yuan, who was thinking hard with his arms folded, suddenly had an idea and his eyes lit up. Got it. Cultivation method. A way to become stronger besides killing monsters and leveling up. It's the body-building method, breathing method and visualization method. These 3 items represent the spirit of the human body. Only by constantly breaking through the limits can the life level evolve to a higher level. There are many kinds of bodybuilding methods on the market. Every private martial arts gym has a signature bodybuilding method. You can learn it as long as you pay to learn it. Generally, the level is not too high. The breathing method and the visualization method of cultivating the spirit are the price is very high, and the advanced ones are rare in the market, and generally not passed on. In addition to the basic martial arts for practicing martial arts skills, the martial arts school also released the basic breathing method for training chi and blood, the flowing water breathing method and the basic body building method, the rock body building method. Basics are not a bad thing. They represent simplicity, few restrictions, low difficulty, and easy entry. They are also recognized as the most suitable for the general public to practice. It is completely in time to change after becoming a martial artist. I can't afford it, but it only took me a few moments to comprehend the basic martial arts to the perfect level. Maybe I can also gain insights from the basic breathing method and bodybuilding method, and use the supreme analysis to create the most suitable practice method for myself. Quote. The more Zhang Yuan thought about it, the brighter his eyes became. He did what he said. Zhang Yuan took a deep breath, leaned back, fell on the bed, looked at the ceiling to concentrate his mind, and gradually entered the state. The brown-black pupils gradually turned into a strange and gorgeous rainbow color. Ding! You use the supreme analysis to understand the secret of body forging. The proficiency of the rock body forging method plus 100. Proficiency of the rock body forging method plus 100. Ding! Your rock body forging method has achieved a small success. Ding! Your rock body forging method has achieved a great success. Ding! The rock body forging method has reached the perfect state. From small success to perfection, it took less than 3 minutes. Zhang Yuan's comprehension and deduction continued. Your understanding of the bodybuilding method deepened. Your understanding of the bodybuilding method deepened. You comprehended the essence of bodybuilding and began to create the bodybuilding method that suits you best. The current progress is 1%. You comprehended the essence of bodybuilding and began to create the bodybuilding method that suits you best. The current progress is 2%. After an unknown amount of time, it got dark. It took 6 hours and 13 minutes, and you have completed all deductions. Analyze the basic breathing method, comprehend the essence of breathing, and the basic breathing method is upgraded to SSS level breathing method, immortal body building method. Hear the system voice in your mind. Finally, it's done. The rainbow light in Zhang Yuan's eyes dissipated, and his physical and mental strength could no longer hold on. He closed his eyes and fell asleep. Aunt Dao Yufeng, who worked overtime until late at night, dragged her tired body back home, carrying vegetables. I'm back. There are too many patients today. Are you hungry? Quote. Xiao Yuan, seeing no movement, Dao Yufeng came to the front of the house, opened the door and took a look. Seeing Zhang Yuan lying on the bed, she gently closed the door, then went to the kitchen, tied an apron, and started cooking. We're back. A crisp female voice sounded, and a sweet-looking girl with a single ponytail walked into the house. Mom, is Brother Yuan back? How is his awakening? Shish, keep your voice down, he fell asleep. He must be tired from the exercise. Ask him tomorrow. The night before, the night was full of tears. When Zhang Yuan woke up, it was already midnight. He was covered in blood, sweat and black dirt at this moment. He was extremely hungry, but he could feel a hot power surging in his body. He didn't wait for him to think about the current situation. Gurgle. There was a violent protest from his stomach, followed by an extreme sense of weakness. No, I'm so hungry, I'm almost starving to death. Zhang Yuan climbed out of bed with all his strength and came to the living room. Dao Chunru had already fallen asleep. Seeing the full meal on the dining table in the living room, Zhang Yuan immediately started to eat voraciously. In less than 10 minutes, it was all gone. Half full. After eating, I went to the bathroom and turned on the faucet to wash away the dirt, and opened the system panel to check. Immortal Body Forging Method, SSS, a total of 31 moves. Remove impurities, temper the body, use the body as a furnace, and the blood as an immortal fire, refine every cell into an immortal particle, cultivate the body density to the extreme, the body becomes immortal glass, the body becomes a chaotic universe, the body crosses the galaxy, the stars are destroyed but I am immortal. Hiss. Zhang Yuan took a breath. I actually created an SSS level body forging method. He felt incredible. I heard from Chen Hao before that the most recognized breathing method in the country is the star breathing method created by a demigod, SS level. SSS level breathing method. I have never heard of it. I am afraid that the Warrior Association headquarters does not have it. It seems that the talent of supreme analysis is more terrifying than I thought. Zhang Yuan smacked his lips. After all, it is the product of a 100,000-fold increase in comprehension. Give it a try. Zhang Yuan was full of anticipation. He closed his eyes and performed the first move of the immortal body building method in the bathroom while taking a shower with cold water. This body building method is extremely difficult. In addition to the ultimate understanding of this breathing method, it also requires perfect control of every muscle in the body to vibrate one's own qi and blood. For each movement, the qi and blood in the body need to vibrate dozens or hundreds of times, and there must not be any mistakes. It is many times more difficult than the previous rock body building method. Even if it is given to a demigod, it will probably take several years of research and comprehension before it can be practiced. Zhang Yuan tried to practice, and after failing 13 times, he gradually grasped the trick and successfully completed the first move. The moment of success. Zhang Yuan began to tremble all over his body, and there was an invisible pressure coming from all directions. The knife scraped and burned in his body, as if his bone marrow was burning. Hot, so hot, pain, so painful, all the pores on his body opened, and the burning heat rose from his body. When it came into contact with the cold water, it turned into white steam with a hiss, making the bathroom misty. Why is it so painful? Zhang Yuan gritted his teeth and persisted. Every second felt like a year. A large amount of sweat mixed with blood and black substances seeped out of his pores and was quickly washed away by the water. 10 seconds later, Zhang Yuan finished practicing, holding his hands against the wall and breathing heavily. He rested for a full 5 minutes. Zhang Yuan finally came to his senses, still frightened, and smiled bitterly. I almost thought I was going to die. After checking the attribute panel, Zhang Yuan couldn't believe his eyes. Strength +1, speed +1. The results of 10 seconds are more than Zhang Yuan's previous month of hard training. I can't even last 10 seconds for the first move now. If I can master all 31 moves, how fast will I improve? Zhang Yuan murmured. Martial God, the blessing of professional bug level skills, plus the continuous improvement and tempering of the immortal body building method. He didn't dare to think about how terrifying his body would become after he became a warrior, killing monsters to level up, and his attribute points continued to increase. Would his blood and chi turn into the tide of the universe one day, and his body cross the galaxy, immortal and indestructible? Just thinking about it makes people excited. Gurgle. The stomach protested again. The food he had just eaten had been completely digested. It was normal to consume a lot of energy when practicing this level of breathing method. Zhang Yuan quickly placed an order for takeout. Black feathered chicken pot, 1 serving. Grilled thorny pig's trotters. Moon shadow rhino grilled steak. The silver fish set is not bad either. All of them are nutritious beast meat, and the price is not cheap. The order was placed, and the money was deducted 3,902 yuan. Zhang Yuan said that he felt a little heartbroken. A few minutes later, Zhang Yuan walked to the balcony quietly. A small blue shuttle was parked outside the balcony. The person delivering the food was a girl wearing a helmet and a delivery uniform. Have you eaten? I'll deliver it quickly. At your service. Is it the takeaway you ordered? The delivery girl asked. It's me. After Zhang Yuan took the takeaway, the delivery girl smiled at him. You are a college entrance examination candidate, right? Good luck on the exam. My name is Reina. Remember to give me a 5-star rating. No more, I have to deliver the next order. After that, she turned the throttle and shouted, cover, accelerate. The shuttle was covered by a force and instantly turned into a blue stream of light and disappeared in front of Zhang Yuan. Acceleration talent. Zhang Yuan suddenly realized. The delivery girl just now should be a transferred warrior, who awakened the acceleration talent, and the sequence should not be low. Life is not easy, even warriors run out to deliver takeaways. Shaking his head, Zhang Yuan returned to his room with a bunch of takeaways. Just as he was about to open the door of the next room opened, and the cousin in pajamas rubbed her eyes and walked out to go to the bathroom, and the two looked at each other. That boy was pretty handsome, Reina thought as she rode the shuttle through the high-rise buildings. Ordering so much beast meat, is it time to strengthen the blood? The watch rang. You have a new call, it's from the boss. Connect. Reina, where have you been? A cold female voice sounded. I'm delivering food. Why are you delivering food again? A new level 3 abyss has been discovered here, come quickly. Wait, I'll come after I deliver this order. In Zhang Yuan's room. He and his cousin Mo Shishi were eating takeout with relish. Brother Yuan, keep your voice down, don't let my mother hear. She won't let me eat at night. Then why are you still eating? I can't help it. You ordered too much. Can you finish it? Don't worry, I'm starving now. Quote. How can you say that to yourself? I'm full. Mo Shishi quickly ate her fill and lay on the bed, touching her belly with a satisfied look on her face. She looked at Zhang Yuan, who was still wolfing down his food, and was a little unbelievable. Brother Yuan, you're such a big eater. You're still not full after eating so much. Could it be that you awakened the black hole stomach today? By the way, how was your job transfer ceremony today? What talent did you awaken? She lay on Zhang Yuan's bed and asked with interest. E-level, assassin. Zhang Yuan didn't even raise his head. E-level. This is too low, Mo Shishi said in shock, and then looked at Zhang Yuan with sympathy. I understand why you can eat so much today. It turns out that you turned your grief and anger into appetite. I understand. Zhang Yuan. But it doesn't matter. As a new generation of genius, a future S-level talent owner, a rare professional. Mo Shishi patted his chest, which had begun to take shape, and said proudly, I, the great demon King Shishi, will protect you in the future. Thank you. You're welcome. She didn't stay in Zhang Yuan's room for too long, and she was afraid of being discovered by Dao Yufeng, so she quickly returned to her room. Zhang Yuan ate for another half an hour before finishing all the takeaway. She used to eat a week's worth of food, but now she can only eat 70% full. Every cell in her body is craving for nutrition like a glutton, and it is difficult to satisfy. I have a big appetite now, which is influenced by the martial god profession and the factors of practicing the immortal bodybuilding method. I have to find a way to make money. Zhang Yuan thought to himself. Let's talk about it tomorrow. He went back to the house and fell asleep on the bed. Too many things happened today, and he was exhausted physically and mentally. The next morning, Zhang Yuan stood in front of the bathroom mirror with his upper body naked. The boy in the mirror had handsome features and fair skin. His originally black pupils turned into a light golden color, exuding a sense of majesty. Half-long black hair, fine bangs casually draped on his forehead, 8 abdominal muscles looming, although his muscles were not much, but he looked extremely well proportioned. Compared to yesterday after awakening. After one night, he seemed to have shrunk and lost weight. I have lost a lot of weight, and I seem to have become wider and shorter. Originally, Zhang Yuan was 1.75 meters tall, but now he is only about 1.7 meters tall. Zhang Yuan clenched his fist slightly, and could clearly feel the terrifying power flowing in his body. With my current strength, it shouldn't be a problem to blow up a truck with one punch under normal conditions. Zhang Yuan thought to himself. He took a deep breath, suppressed the urge to vent his strength, and went to the kitchen to prepare breakfast. While eating breakfast, Zhang Yuan told his aunt's family about his awakening of his E-level talent and his job change to assassin. Although his aunt Dao Yufeng and uncle Mo Lingfeng felt sorry. But they didn't say anything. After all, they all saw Zhang Yuan's efforts on weekdays. Awakening talent is destined and can't be forced. What are you going to do next? Mo Lingfeng asked. I plan to exercise well in the next month, take the college entrance examination, and try to get into WUDA. Zhang Yuan said. Mo Lingfeng nodded slightly. Dao Yufeng also said, it's good to get into WUDA. It will be easier to sign a contract with the guild after graduation. Several people thought Zhang Yuan was talking about getting into a third-tier WUDA. But only Zhang Yuan himself knew. He was talking about the 4 top WUDAs in Daxia. Shenwu University, Kunlun University, Civilization University, Shanghai University. The 4 WUDAs were established 150 years ago and have mastered a large number of dungeon secrets, equipment, skills and various resources. As long as the students who graduated from these 4 WUDAs are still alive, there is no one who is lower than the 4th level warrior. The big figures who are famous in one side basically come from these 4 universities. It can be said that the people trained are the backbone of Daxia's resistance to the abyss. This is also the reason why these 4 universities have a very high status in Daxia. At least you have to be in the top 100 in the province to enter these 4 universities. In this world where the strong prey on the weak, in order to select strong people who are suitable for surviving in the abyss, the college entrance examination only tests one content. Survival in the secret realm. Kill the beasts in the dungeon secret realm to get a score. The higher the score, the higher the ranking. Simple and direct. After the aunt's family went out to work and go to school, Zhang Yuan put on his clothes and walked out of the house, planning to find a martial arts hall to test his current combat power first, and then buy some beast meat. Chongming Martial Arts Hall, a small martial arts hall located in an alley. Wearing loose training clothes, standing barefoot in the Taoist temple, holding an alloy spear, closing her eyes to comprehend martial arts, Xu Yian heard the sound at the door and opened her eyes. She came to the front desk with the spear and saw a young man standing there. What's the matter? Hearing the beautiful and cold female voice, Zhang Yuan turned his head to look. Seeing Xu Yian, who had a head of black hair tied into a high ponytail and looked heroic and beautiful, he was slightly stunned. He didn't expect that the director of this small martial arts school was actually a young beauty in her 20s. I want to test my combat power. I'm not here to become a disciple. Xu Yian was a little disappointed. Ever since her father Xu Chongming disappeared into the abyss, she inherited this martial arts school. Because she is not good at socializing, it has been almost half a year and she still hasn't recruited a single disciple. If this continues, the martial arts school will probably be closed soon. Looking at the handsome boy in front of her, Xu Yiyan thought to herself, another boy who has just awakened and wants to test the damage of his skills. There are many such people. Come with me, Xu Yiyan said coldly and turned to walk inside. Xu Yiyan brought Zhang Yuan to a machine. This is a combat power tester. You can use all your strength to hit it. It can accurately test your current combat power. The test fee is 500 yuan. After Xu Yiyan finished speaking, he walked away and returned to the empty dojo to continue to comprehend the spearmanship, leaving Zhang Yuan alone standing in front of the combat power tester. She is now a second-level warrior LV-18, and she will switch to a spearman, striving to reach the third-level warrior as soon as possible so that she may be able to recruit people by then. Ha! Zhang Yuan exhaled lightly, looking at the combat power tester in front of him with his eyes like torches. His right leg moved back half a step, his right fist was retracted, and his muscles trembled slightly, and his blood and chi surged. His spirit and energy reached the peak. Then, he punched out. Bang! A dull sound. Xu Yiyan turned her head to look, with a hint of surprise on her pretty face. Why is this sound a little wrong? She turned her head to look. 673.6730. Xu Yiyan's expression was dull for a moment. Zhang Yuan looked at the number on the combat power tester and nodded gently. Combat power damage value is generally 10 times the strength. Excluding the increase in combat power from martial arts and strength talents, a first-level 55-1 warrior with a blood value of 10 and a job transfer to an ordinary warrior has a strength of around 100, and the combat power that can be burst out is about 1000 minus 2000. This punch is equivalent to 3 times that of an ordinary first-level 55-1 warrior. If you tell others, I'm afraid it will shock countless people. Try to see how much the force technique can increase. Zhang Yuan thought to himself. He raised his hand, and his fist was covered with a layer of rich blood, which turned into a faint layer of crimson ripples covering the surface of his fist, and punched the combat power tester. Boom! The combat power tester shook violently and another number popped up. 10,672. The damage directly exceeded 10,000. The increase is almost close to 50%. Zhang Yuan nodded slightly, and this is far from his full strength. If he uses the skill of martial god job transfer, the damage should be increased by 5 to 10 times. Just when he was about to try his full strength again. Clang! The crisp sound of metal falling to the ground came from behind. Zhang Yuan turned his head to look. Xu Yiyan opened his mouth slightly, staring blankly at the number on the combat power test machine, with the fallen alloy spear lying at his feet. 1. More than 10,000 damage. How is it possible? This damage has far exceeded the limit of a first-level warrior and reached the damage range of a second-level warrior. Her first reaction was that the machine was broken. But she had used the combat power test machine this morning, so it couldn't be broken. There is only one explanation. The handsome, thin, and poor-looking young high school student in front of her really dealt more than 10,000 damage. It's simply unimaginable. How did you do it? She looked at Zhang Yuan and couldn't help asking, what is your health value? Is it over 10? What martial arts are you practicing? What about awakening talent? Is it strength? What profession did you change to? Zhang Yuan frowned, feeling confused. This is my privacy, why should I tell you? This woman is not beautiful, but mentally ill. No wonder no one comes to this martial arts gym. Well, I have something else to do, so I'll leave first. Zhang Yuan wanted to run away quickly to avoid being associated with her. Genius. This is definitely a genius. Xu Yiyan's eyes glowed, and she was excited. Such a good seedling must not be let go. Seeing that Zhang Yuan was about to run away, she suddenly became anxious. Wait. With a flash of his figure, Xu Yiyan came in front of Zhang Yuan and stretched out his hand to grab his arm at a very fast speed. Zhang Yuan frowned, his face turned cold, and he avoided the grab at the critical moment, and quickly fought back, twisting his waist, and a powerful and heavy punch from bottom to top, covering the crimson ripples and hitting Xu Yiyan's chin. Xu Yiyan's eyes lit up. Perfect counterattack. You actually have such a fighting consciousness. She became more and more excited. She reached out to catch Zhang Yuan's heavy punch, and the strong wind caused by the impact exploded, turning into a whirlwind that spread from the two people, making the surrounding weapons buzz. Zhang Yuan frowned and said, "What do you want to do?" He didn't feel the killing intent, otherwise today would be the first death battle after awakening martial god. Even if the opponent was a second-level warrior, he didn't think he would lose. Xu Yiyan grabbed Zhang Yuan's fist, her pretty face flushed, panting, and excitedly said, You come to us. Zhang Yuan was stunned for a moment, and his expression became weird. Oh my god, I met a female pervert. Ha, Xu Yiyan's face was close to Zhang Yuan, and the fragrance of magnolia lingered in his face, making his heart beat faster. This is coming for his body. Seeing the flawless white face and the plump and rosy lips so close, Zhang Yuan closed his eyes resignedly. Come on, you female beast, come join our guild. Quote. Ah, Zhang Yuan opened his eyes in confusion and met Xu Yiyan's eyes full of expectation and excitement. Guild, yes, Bloody Rose Guild, Xu Yiyan said. At first she wanted Zhang Yuan to join the martial arts school as a disciple, but when she experienced his actual combat power in person, she changed her mind. With such damage, he may have become a first-level warrior. It is definitely a rare talent, and the damage is full. More importantly, he is young and has a lot of room for growth. Xu Yiyan, you should not have joined the guild yet. Zhang Yuan shook his head. Our guild is small now, and we are lacking an attacker with full damage. If you are willing to join, in addition to a monthly subsidy of 50,000 yuan, the equipment we get from killing beasts will be distributed on demand, gold coins and materials will be converted into corresponding values, and you can also use our martial arts training equipment for free. Zhang Yuan was a little tempted when he heard this. 50,000 yuan a month, and free use of training equipment. You should know that martial arts halls are generally equipped with gravity rooms, and practicing in them will be twice as effective with half the effort. If outsiders want to use them, they basically have to pay 30,000 yuan per hour. If I join, do I need to sign a long-term contract? You can sign a long-term contract or a short-term contract. It sounds good. Xu Yiyan was happy when he heard this, so you agree. But there is a problem. Quote. My blood is not even 10 now, and I am not a first-level warrior, so I can't go to the Abyss dungeon. Zhang Yuan said embarrassedly. Xu Yiyan was stunned for a moment. Then she opened her eyes wide and said in disbelief, What did you say? You haven't even reached the first level yet. Seeing Zhang Yuan nod, she took a breath of cold air, her expression was extremely shocked, and her heart was in turmoil. Not even LV1, but the damage exceeded 10,000. What kind of monster is this? So let's talk about this after I become a first-level warrior. I'll tell the president later, let's leave contact information first. My name is Xu Yiyan, what's your name? Zhang Yuan. Xu Yiyan muttered silently, and the two exchanged contact information. After leaving the martial arts hall, Zhang Yuan rushed straight to the beast market, spent all his savings to buy a lot of beast meat, cooked it and delivered it to his door. In addition, he bought a bottle of first-level potion worth 10,000 yuan, which can replenish qi and blood and repair vitality. After buying it, Zhang Yuan's savings were completely used up. Poor in literature but rich in martial arts, it's really too expensive. Zhang Yuan sighed, feeling very painful. But so much beast meat should be enough to eat for a few days. When the blood and qi break through 10 and become a first-level warrior, you can go to the Abyss to make money. Sitting on the sky rail on the way home. Ding, you have a new message. Guan Sha Sha, come out. Zhang Yuan, what? Guan Sha Sha. Duel. Zhang Yuan's eyes showed a trace of nostalgia. 10 years ago, Guan Sha Sha's family lived near Zhang Yuan's family. The two families had a good relationship and often visited each other. But later, Guan's father's rank was promoted, and Guan's mother's pharmaceutical business grew, so they moved to the rich area of the city. Zhang Yuan's parents also left their hometown because of work transfers. Zhang Yuan lived in his aunt's house because of school, and the two families gradually had less contact. Zhang Yuan thought about it and replied, time, place. Guan Sha Sha replied quickly, 9 o'clock tonight, Xinghua Park. Zhang Yuan, okay. Just after he replied to the message, the entire Skytrain suddenly shook violently. Alarm! Alarm! Zhang Yuan raised his head in surprise. The sirens buzzed and all lit up red, and all the passengers were panicked. What's going on? An earthquake? Zhang Yuan suddenly felt something and looked out the window, his pupils shrinking slightly. In the clear and cloudless sky, a dark crack appeared, as if the sky had opened a hole, and the crack spread out, emitting an ominous atmosphere. What is that? An office worker's face turned pale. Sky. A terrifying shock wave came out from the crack, cracking half of the sky, like a tidal storm-like shock wave that broke the clouds and came towards the city below with the momentum of destroying everything. Zhang Yuan's hair stood on end, and an indescribable sense of danger surged in his heart. In another sky train, a blue-haired woman with her eyes covered by black satin looked out the window and said in astonishment, "Oh my God! What's going on?" Just when she was about to take off the black satin, she was stopped by the middle-aged woman next to her. "Don't mess around." At the same time, several figures appeared above the city. Lu He, the principal of martial arts high school, was also among them, but he could only stand in the back row. The leader was an old man with long white hair and a sword, exuding a terrible pressure. "Get out!" The old man shouted angrily, as if thunder had exploded, and blocked the shock wave coming from the sky. However, the collision of the two shock forces still caused a considerable impact on the city. The sky rail in the air shook violently, and cracks appeared on the glass that could defend against missiles. The passengers screamed in panic and held on to the things at hand. Zhang Yuan stared at the sky. What is that? The deadly fire, the deadly fire. Nanjing City, number 89 suburban slum. Zhang Wei, the captain of the first team of the patrol department, covered his chest wound and looked at everything in the sky with an ugly face. How could this happen? A month ago, he led his team to track down a group of Abyss believers who sneaked into Nanjing City, and finally found their lair today. Just when they were about to wipe them out, something unexpected happened. Among them, there was a 5th-level warrior who awakened the S-level sequence, and changed his job to the rare profession of blood priest. With the extremely rare blood sacrifice skill, he forcibly sacrificed all the bodies of the Abyss believers and the civilians they secretly slaughtered, and summoned the Abyss to come. When Zhang Wei reacted, it was too late. At the moment when the evil and powerful Abyss aura erupted, 3 patrol team members died on the spot, and even Zhang Wei, who was at the 6th level, was seriously injured. Feeling the breath emanating from the crack in the sky, Zhang Wei murmured, "King Realm. Above the 9th level warrior is the King Realm, which can easily destroy a city. Above that is the demigod, which is a disaster at the level of destroying a country." Crack. Black thunders surged from the cracks in the sky. The breath of the Abyss creatures in the King Realm changed the celestial phenomena. The clear sky quickly became overcast, with violent storms and thunder interweaving, which looked extremely terrifying. The Abyss entrances outside Nanjing City also began to stir. The beasts broke through the seal, with red eyes and roaring towards the city wall. Fire! The soldiers roared, the artillery roared, and most of the beasts were destroyed before they got close. Then there was a hand-to-hand fight between the army warriors and the beasts. Both sides fought desperately. Zhang Yuan looked up from the window of the sky track. Several people in the sky of Nanjing City stood in the sky, exuding a terrible spiritual will pressure. The life magnetic field was as strong as several rounds of scorching sun, making it difficult to look up and look directly. Is this a hollow cavity? Lu He looked at the crack in the sky with a solemn expression. The leading old man, yes. A dignified and beautiful woman next to him said, "This is the first time I have seen it." While speaking, a huge evil eye appeared in the hollow cavity, overlooking the few people in the entire city with wisdom, and descended with a terrifying will of pollution, which made the faces of the few people change, and Lu He, who had a lower life level, turned pale instantly. The dignified and beautiful woman raised her hand. A spiritual barrier with lavender engraved patterns appeared in front of the few people, and the spiritual pressure disappeared instantly. The old man in the lead shouted, "It can't come out now. Attack immediately and destroy the hollow cavity." The alloy long sword he was holding was covered by endless thunder. He raised his hand and waved it. 1,000-meter-long thunder blade light rushed into the sky and slashed towards the hollow cavity. The middle-aged man with a sword on his back said indifferently, "Evil beast. Go back." He swung the sword, and the space seemed to be torn apart. A cross-shaped terrifying sword energy whistled away, as if to cut everything into pieces. Lu He also displayed his talent. Several white balls appeared in front of him, and air cannons shot out from them. Boom! Bang! Kazi! The hollow cavity was attacked and became smaller and smaller. The abyss inside was unwilling to give up. A huge tentacle covered with eyes twisted and squeezed out from it, and purple beams shot out from the eyes, decomposing everything. Lu He narrowly avoided it and broke out in a cold sweat. The black-robed wizard raised his hands, forming barriers to block the purple beams and protect the city below. Spiritual storm. The dignified and beautiful woman was also angry, her eyes emitting purple light, and she burst out with terrifying mental power to suppress his actions. The white-haired old man cut off the tentacle with a thunderous knife, and the middle-aged man with a sword on his back slashed out countless sword lights, breaking it into millions of pieces. Finally, as the elemental energy ball summoned by the wizard covered in black robes exploded, the terrifying explosion wave swept everything around, blew away the dark clouds, and also announced the end of this battle. In the city below, seeing this scene, the crowd couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief and cheered. The white-haired old man put away his thunderblade, stroked his beard and said in a deep voice, "These abyss believers are really going too far. If you don't deal with the big problem, Lu Beely, what did your inspection department do?" The middle-aged man Lu Beely, who was carrying a sword, said calmly, "This matter was our negligence. I will take responsibility and report the details of this matter." "Humph, that's the best." The white-haired old man snorted coldly and turned away. Several people dispersed, and didn't notice. The embers of the explosion fell into the city. Some of the flesh and blood as small as fingers had not been burned out yet, and fell to the ground, the edge of the building, and the top of the car. They moved gently, as if they had life. The sky rail arrived at the station safely. Zhang Yuan was relieved until he got home. He learned the ins and outs of the incident from the official website of the Warrior Association on the internet. Again, the Abyss Believers, this group of lunatics. These people are all lunatics, polluted by the spirit of the Abyss, corrupted, and regarded the Abyss as a god, believing that the Abyss is the eternal existence. Do they really want to drag mankind into the abyss of doomsday? Zhang Yuan shook his head and said, and was glad that he chose to hide his talent and profession. Browse the news. The Nanjing City Warrior Association also announced the information of the personnel participating in the battle today. The white-haired old man, Qin Zhenan, the president of the Nanjing City Warrior Association, is known as the strongest person in Nanjing City, a 9th-level warrior, and his profession is an epic profession, the Thunder Warrior. Luo Ningyan, a beautiful middle-aged woman, is an 8th-level warrior with S-level spiritual talent, a job-changing illusionist, and the president of the Pharmacist Association. Lu He, the principal of Nanjing City Martial Arts Middle School, is a 7th-level warrior and a master of Qigong. Lu Beely, the commander of the Nanjing City Inspection Department, is an 8th-level warrior, and has changed his job to a legendary profession, the sky-breaking swordsman. The man in black robes is an 8th-level warrior, and is affiliated with the top guild in the country, an elemental mage. They are all well-known bigwigs. Except for the commander who guards the city, it can be said that the top combat forces of Nanjing City are all present. No wonder I feel suffocated just by looking at their figures. Zhang Yuan murmured, even such strong men need to unite to fight against the abyss. Zhang Yuan once again felt the threat of the abyss and the cruelty and danger of this era. Chapter 11. The city was in chaos, but the weather was very bad. I checked the latest news and saw that there was another wave of abyssal beasts outside the city. Zhang Yuan couldn't help but feel a little worried and sent a message to his father Zhang Damu. Zhang Damu replied after a while, "I'm fine. I'm cleaning up the battlefield with my comrades now, don't worry." In the Border Defense Army, Zhang Damu put down the communicator with his bloodstained hands, and it drooped limply. The bald scarred man lying next to him, who was tied up like a mummy, laughed and said, "Old Zhang, which old lover sent you a message?" "Bullshit, it's my son. It's good to have a son, at least there is someone who cares about you." "That's right, you should give birth to one too." "Forget it, we don't know how long we can live with our heads hanging on our crotches. I don't want him to be an orphan as soon as he is born." "Your son is about to take the college entrance examination, right? How is it? Is he sure he can go to Wuhan University?" "My son will definitely be able to do it. He is much better than me," Zhang Damu said proudly. Struggling to light a cigarette, Zhang Damu looked up at the sky, exhaled the smoke, and smiled reluctantly. I've lived another day. In Nanjing City. Zhang Yuan was relieved, but he couldn't laugh. Although Daddy said it lightly, Zhang Yuan knew in his heart that with such a large-scale beast tide many second and third-level warriors in the army were either injured or killed. How could Daddy, a first-level warrior, be spared? He must have been injured, but he kept it a secret for fear that his family would worry. Zhang Yuan came to the bathroom, took off his clothes, and began to practice the immortal body forging method. All he could do now was to become a first-level warrior as soon as possible and enter the abyss. Without exposing his own talents, killing monsters and upgrading can allow him to rise quickly and change the current living conditions of his family. Chi. The bathroom was like a kettle boiling, shrouded in thick steam, and the young man in the misty water vapor made painful groans from time to time. Half an hour later, the delivery man brought the beast meat, and when he opened the door, he was shocked to see Zhang Yuan. At this moment, he was as thin as a bamboo pole, with sunken cheeks and thin muscles attached to his bones. He looked very withered and weak, but his eyes were unusually clear. Are you okay? The delivery man couldn't help asking. Do you want to be sent to the hospital? No, thank you. Zhang Yuan shook his head, took the box beside him, and closed the door. Did you go crazy practicing martial arts? The delivery man shook his head, and just before he left, he suddenly felt a sense of disobedience. He also said that the boy looked so weak, as if he could be blown down by a gust of wind. How could he lift 200 kilograms of beast meat so easily? Zhang Yuan got the beast meat and started to devour it without saying a word. Along with the intake of a large amount of nutrients, Zhang Yuan's consumed potential energy was replenished, his cheeks bulged again, and his muscles reappeared, smooth and shiny, with a sense of strength and streamline, and even his hair became shiny. After eating 20 kilograms of beast meat, Zhang Yuan felt full. He stretched his body, and his bones made thunderous sounds. I have gradually mastered the first form of the immortal body forging method, and I can hold it for half a minute. It was painful at first, but after slowly adapting, I could feel the numbness like electrotherapy throughout my body, which was extremely refreshing. After a few more trainings, I should be able to try the second form. Now my spirit has reached its peak, and it's time to try to deduce the breathing method. The human body as a whole. If the body forging method is to temper the body from the inside out, then the breathing method is to temper the blood and absorb the energy of the universe so as to achieve the unity of man and nature. The two complement each other and can further sublimate the spirit. For Zhang Yuan now, the basic water breathing method taught in school no longer meets his needs and has no effect. Only breathing methods of the same level or even higher level as the immortal body forging method can improve his practice efficiency. Begin. After Zhang Yuan muted the watch, he entered the state. Ding. You use the supreme analysis to analyze the essence of the breathing method. Basic breathing method proficiency plus 100. Basic breathing method proficiency plus 100. Ding. The basic breathing method has reached a small level. Ding. The basic breathing method has reached a great level. Ding. The basic breathing method has reached a perfect level. Drip. You comprehend the essence of breathing and start to create the most suitable breathing method for yourself. Current progress is 1%. Drip. You comprehend the essence of breathing and start to create the most suitable breathing method for yourself. Current progress is 2%. Drip. Based on the essence of breathing method, you create your own breathing method, Xinwo breathing method. In the Chongming Martial Arts Hall at night, Xu Yian was soaking in the bathtub. In front of him was a virtual screen, and on the other side of the screen was a beautiful and extremely cold red-haired woman. That's what happened. Isn't he a first-level warrior, a high school student with damage exceeding 10,000? If it's true, then it is indeed necessary to absorb him. The cold and beautiful sister said, touching her chin. Ji Feiyui, president of the Blood Rose, 5th level, auxiliary profession. Do you know his talent and profession? I'm not sure about that yet. Okay, I got it. You should keep in touch with him first. If necessary, you can sign a contract in advance. Don't let other guilds poach him. Ji Feiyui said. Okay. After Zhang Yuan woke up, he felt a headache and was in a daze. It took him half a minute to wake up. He felt pain when he used his brain. This time, the consumption was much greater than the previous deduction of the bodybuilding method. And the result was also quite rich. See the introduction. Fire breathing method SSS. With breathing as the guide, the body is like firewood burning, endless. Purify and absorb all energy particles from the outside world, upgrade your own potential, break the shackles, and evolve your own life level. Effect 1. Every attack you make carries the power of firewood, which contains purification and destruction. Attack power increases by 100%, damage reduces the enemy by 50% and self-heals. Effect 2. The speed of cultivation is increased tenfold, and the recovery ability is increased tenfold. After being injured, you can quickly repair and heal yourself. If the flame in your heart is not extinguished, your physical strength will never be exhausted. Effect 3. After the body and mind are in harmony, there is a certain chance to ignite your own miracle fire and trigger miracles in the process of life level evolution. Simple, direct, and rough. But it contains unimaginable power. The tenfold increase in cultivation speed and the tenfold increase in recovery ability are enough to crush almost all breathing methods on Blue Star. Not to mention the attack power increase and the effect of self-inflicted serious injuries. It is worthy of being an SSS level breathing method, too strong. Zhang Yuan sighed. Even if it is given to awaken garbage talents, ordinary professional warriors can practice it day by day, and I am afraid that they can become incredible top-level strongmen. Try it and see the effect. Zhang Yuan immediately sat cross-legged and began to adjust his breathing in practice. Breathing in and out, changing the rhythm, entering the state. He gradually felt the other side of the world, and felt countless glowing particles appearing in the void around him, with different colors, lightning particles, fire particles, dark particles, radiation particles. The vastness filled every corner of the world. And he seemed to have turned into a chaotic vortex, emitting a majestic suction force, and unceremoniously swallowed all these energy particles. With the influx of a large number of energy particles, Zhang Yuan's own magnetic field energy increased at a speed visible to the naked eye. The blood in his body became more and more surging, the cells were jumping, the bone marrow was emitting light, and the body density was increasing. 10 minutes passed. In the deepest darkness of Zhang Yuan's body, a tiny flame appeared, warm, pure, full of vitality, and containing hope. The first step is to light the fire. Done. At the moment the fire was lit, his body and bones became crystal clear, the spiritual realm between his eyebrows emitted pure light spots, and there was a tendency to open up. The biomagnetic field surged a lot, and a huge breath of life came from him. The withered and dead flowers and plants in the flower pots on the balcony of his home turned from yellow to green, the grass leaves grew, and the petals bloomed. At 7:44 in the evening, Zhang Yuan woke up from the state of cultivation, opened his eyes, and a light golden light flashed. His eyes were pure and bright, with a crystal-like luster. Check the panel. Character: Zhang Yuan. Race: human race. Age: 17. Level: unranked. Profession: martial god mythology. Talent: infinite amplification original supreme analysis god level burning wood fire E level. Stamina: 690. Power: 700. Speed: 680. Spirit: 680. Luck: 5. Passive specialization. Limit of power 10 times amplification of all attributes in normal state. Active skills: divine avoidance, starburst, super speed. Practice method: wave force technique, immortal body forging method SSS, fire breathing method SSS. Equipment: crimson wristband rare. Every time his basic attribute is increased by 1 point, it will become 10 points under the effect of limit of power. The training during this period has increased his blood and chi, and all attributes have been improved a lot. As a result, the 4-dimensional attributes have increased a lot more than before. This passive specialization is really abnormal. Zhang Yuan couldn't help but sigh. Perhaps when he becomes a first-level warrior, his 4-dimensional attributes will exceed 1,000. Even if I don't use skills now, Sha Qinghu and other geniuses may not be able to take my punch. Zhang Yuan clenched his fist, feeling the terrifying power contained in it, and his heart was surging. When I step into the first-level warrior, as long as it is not those weird abilities involving the spiritual realm, curses and cause and effect, even a 4th-level warrior will have the power to fight. Click. Outside the room, there was a sound of a door opening from the outside. I'm back. Hearing the girl's cheerful voice, Zhang Yuan knew that it was Mo Shishi who came back. Ha, ah, hey. Hearing the sound outside, Zhang Yuan couldn't help but push the door open and saw Mo Shishi, still in school uniform, standing on the sofa in the living room and practicing an unknown boxing style. Zhang Yuan, what are you doing? I'm practicing martial arts, Mo Shishi said seriously. Where did you learn this boxing style? It's so ugly and useless. Zhang Yuan commented with his arms folded. Senior Chen Zi taught me. What's ugly about it? I think she looks good when she fights. That's what you did wrong. Mo Shishi turned her head and looked at Zhang Yuan angrily. No more fighting. Why did you come to disturb me instead of going to practice? She was suddenly stunned when she saw Zhang Yuan, and came over to take a closer look. Zhang Yuan was confused by the look. What's wrong? Brother Yuan, are you a little different from before? What's different? I feel that I have become more beautiful than before, and my skin is better. Mo Shishi looked around Zhang Yuan and reached out to touch him from time to time. Zhang Yuan knocked her hand away and said calmly, it may be because of the job change. That's great. I also want to change my job early and awaken my talent. Mo Shishi pouted her lips, very envious. 8:30 in the evening. Zhang Yuan and his aunt's family sat around the table, chatting about what happened today, and the news was broadcast on the TV in the living room. Interrupt and urgent news, an explosion occurred in Longhu Building in Nanjing City, and relevant agencies are going to deal with it. Please pay attention to safety for nearby residents. Longhu Building, isn't it nearby? Mo Lingfeng said. Mo Shishi ran to the balcony. Really, it's on fire. Zhang Yuan also came to the balcony and looked out. A tall building in the distance was on fire. The fire was burning fiercely, the crimson flames illuminated the night sky, and some shuttles and aircraft were heading there. Today is really full of events. Dao Yufeng said, Shishi, and Xiaoyuan, you should also be careful at ordinary times, and try not to go to places with few people. I know, Mo Shishi replied, the voice was very long. Zhang Yuan suddenly remembered the agreement with Guan Sha Sha and looked at the time. It's this time. He stood up. Auntie, a classmate is looking for me, I'm going out for a while. Remember to come back early. Dao Yufeng reminded. Yeah, at the same time, in a 100-meter-high building next to Longhu Building, a young man in a black uniform put away his sniper and said to his watch with an ugly look. Captain, failed. The target was injured and disappeared, leaving my sight. Soon, a steady male voice sounded in the watch. Okay, I got it. Everyone, pay attention, the target is lost. Repeat, the target is lost. All team members, pay attention, search in the Longhu area. The target is a first-level warrior registered with the Warrior Association, with a C-level natural talent sequence, and a job transfer assassin. His ability emits unknown changes. The risk factor is increased to level 2. Received. 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 In the clock tower several hundred meters high in the center of Nanjing City. In the office of the inspection department, Zhang Wei, the leader of the first group of the inspection department with a bandage on his chest, sat at the table and sighed. Across from him sat a girl eating a spicy casserole, exhaling as she ate. So spicy, so spicy. The girl had a head of ethereal blue long hair that fell to her waist, tied up at the end of her hair, but her eyes were covered by a black satin. Even if you can't see her full appearance, you can feel her unique beauty from the exposed face. She heard Zhang Wei sigh and asked curiously, Brother Wei, what's wrong? Nothing, just that more than a dozen cases suddenly occurred in the city tonight. There were ordinary men who went crazy and stabbed their families, and there were women who burned their children in public. The others were riots caused by warriors who suddenly went crazy. Zhang Wei had a headache. Although those warriors were all first level and second level, it was not a big problem, but the sudden riot without any root cause caused great harm to ordinary people. I have only been away for a year, and Nanjing City has become so chaotic. There are riots, crimes, and the arrival of king-level creatures. It's terrible. You don't know, when I took the SkyTrain back in the afternoon, I saw the hollow cavity in the air and was really scared to death. I haven't seen that kind of scene in the Imperial City. The blue-haired girl chattered. Zhang Wei was annoyed by the noise. You were studying well in the capital, why are you coming back now? Why, people are not allowed to come back to visit their families during the holidays. So hot. Tell the truth. I'm here to recruit students, to get some credits. Quote, quote. If you want to come back earlier, so that there won't be so many problems. Zhang Wei sighed. How would I know? The blue-haired girl said, putting down the spicy casserole, with a satisfied look on her face. I'm full. Zhang Wei looked at the girl in front of him with a complicated and emotional look. Yan Runan, 19 years old, a sophomore at Shenwu Academy, a LV-39 4th-level transfer warrior, S-level sequence talent, transfer to a legendary profession pupil master, any one of which can shock outsiders. She is an absolute pride of heaven. I want to move around after eating and drinking. I will help you too. Yan Runan volunteered. Zhang Wei was worried about not having enough manpower. Then you can go to Longhu and help me investigate the reason for the collective riot of these warriors, or whether there is someone behind the scenes manipulating it. No problem. Yan Runan was full of energy. After a while, Zhang Yuan arrived at the nearby Xinghua Park. It was already 9:01 p.m. The park was empty at night. There was a creaking sound of swings in the children's play area. Zhang Yuan looked in the direction of the sound. A slender figure sat on it. Hearing footsteps behind him, the girl with the bun-haired head moved her ears slightly, turned her head and saw Zhang Yuan, who was wearing casual pants and a baseball cap, walking towards her. You're late. I forgot the time while exercising. When Zhang Yuan approached, Guan Sha Sha was slightly stunned. Compared with before, Zhang Yuan's spirit and energy have changed dramatically. Although his 1.7-meter tall figure was still thin, he exuded a majestic aura. One could feel his amazing vitality without getting close to him. His pale golden eyes under the brim of his hat were like lightning in the cold night, giving people a strong sense of oppression. Guan Sha Sha was a little dazed. Is this still the dull boy who only knew how to exercise in his memory? How could he have changed so much in just 1 or 2 days? Did you have plastic surgery? Guan Sha Sha couldn't help it. What nonsense. Your face doesn't seem to have changed, but why do I feel like you've become a different person? Although the two didn't talk much in 3 years of high school, they get along with each other now without any estrangement. Aren't you going to duel with me? Are you still going to fight? Why are you in such a hurry? You don't think that you can beat me if you beat Huang Yi with martial arts? Let me tell you, even without talent and professional skills, my current blood value has exceeded 4, far higher than yours. Looking at the girl in front of him who was 1.55 meters tall, hugging her arms, looking up, and her delicate face was full of pride. Zhang Yuan couldn't help but smile and said, is it because of the tonic? Yes, it's none of your business. I know you can't bear the pain of exercise at all. HMPH, stop talking nonsense, watch me beat you in one move. The girl chuckled, kicked her feet, rushed to Zhang Yuan, and hit him in the chest with an elbow. The move was sharp and effective, and it seemed that it was some kind of actual combat martial arts. Zhang Yuan's eyes flashed with rainbow light, and he instantly analyzed the advantages and disadvantages of this martial art and more than a dozen countermeasures. But in the end, he did nothing but block the blow with his palm. Bang! Dust flew up under Zhang Yuan's feet, but his body did not move at all. Guan Sha Sha was stunned. Quote. The little head was full of doubts. Blocked. That shouldn't be the case. How did you become so strong? You are too weak. Zhang Yuan smiled and let go. Bullshit. Guan Sha Sha didn't believe it. Look at me, rocket punch. Another straight punch, with blood and chi wrapped around it, accompanied by gusts of wind. It looks like some kind of entry-level 1-star martial arts. Alas, it's a pity that there are too many flaws and it's used badly. Zhang Yuan sighed in his heart. This girl has too little combat experience. Without any surprise, Guan Sha Sha's punch was blocked by Zhang Yuan's palm again, and then pinched with the backhand. Her fist was small and smooth, and it felt very comfortable. Impossible. Guan Sha Sha couldn't believe it. I used all my strength, but it was blocked again. If Zhang Yuan used assassin skills to dodge or use some martial arts skills to offset the force, she could understand, but this was a complete and hard attack. Guan Sha Sha struggled hard, but her fist could not break free from Zhang Yuan's big hand. How much blood do you have now? How can you be so strong? I don't know, probably between 3 to 4. What did you say? Guan Sha Sha screamed, forgot to struggle, and stared at Zhang Yuan blankly. How is it possible? Didn't you only have 2.3 when you were tested last time? It's only been 2 days, how come you have improved so much? She opened her mouth slightly, opened her round and crystal eyes and stared at Zhang Yuan blankly, looking cute. Zhang Yuan let go of his hand and smiled, you don't need to be so surprised. Maybe I've been eating a lot of beast meat recently, and I took some tonics, so my blood and qi have increased quickly. You're talking nonsense. My mother is a pharmacist, how could I not know? The effect of tonics is accumulated over time, and it's impossible to digest all the effects in such a short time. Guan Sha Sha shouted. That means the strength has increased after the job change. Is that so? But doesn't the assassin job increase speed? How come the strength and training speed are also increased? Guan Sha Sha. Somewhat confused. I know, you must have awakened for the second time. Awakening of a second talent is extremely rare, but it is not uncommon, so there are many geniuses in the world who have 2 talents after changing jobs. Zhang Yuan did not refute, but Guan Sha Sha became excited. I guessed it right, you must have awakened for the second time, and it is a talent that can enhance the speed of cultivation. No wonder you have changed so much recently. Looking at her excited look of guessing the secret, Zhang Yuan said, if you don't use skills again, you will lose. Haha, don't think you will win for sure, I haven't used my full strength yet. Guan Sha Sha said, full of fighting spirit, using her own abilities. Come out, black shadow. A black shadow rose from her shadow under the street lamp, 2 meters tall, with arms hanging down, standing respectfully behind Guan Sha Sha. A-level sequence talent, shadow summoning. Summon a shadow servant who is immune to physical attacks, has 100% of the user's strength, and is afraid of light abilities. Watch out! The shadow servant disappeared into the shadows, and the next second he appeared beside Zhang Yuan, opening his arms to hug him. Zhang Yuan punched out, blasting it apart, but it quickly condensed into shape. At the same time, Guan Sha Sha stretched out her hand to Zhang Yuan and used a skill. Shadow Bind. Several black lines spread rapidly from the shadows under her feet, heading towards Zhang Yuan's shadow. Zhang Yuan immediately dodged and disappeared in an instant. Good, so fast, Guan Sha Sha exclaimed, turning her head to look around, where did it run to? Zhang Yuan appeared behind her and stretched out his hand to grab her neck, I won. Guan Sha Sha did not even turn her head, and said with a slight smile, you are the one who got hit. Shadow Clone. Her body turned into a black shadow, and the black shadow not far away turned into her, and the 2 sides exchanged. Zhang Yuan was stunned and was hugged by the black shadow. The dark shadow bound him tightly like a tights. Guan Sha Sha, who was standing not far away, smiled proudly, didn't expect it. Zhang Yuan nodded. It was a bit unexpected. I didn't expect you to use your brain. Her talent plus the job transfer skills are indeed quite strange, and she will be tricked if she is not careful, but unfortunately. I won. Guan Sha Sha's words have not been finished. Zhang Yuan's whole body trembled, and the crimson blood wave shook off the black shadow restraint. He kicked his feet, rushed to Guan Sha Sha, and grabbed her. The young man smiled and said, I won. The 2 of them were so angry that they had to fight. Guan Sha Sha wanted to resist, but she couldn't get away from Zhang Yuan's big hand. But, after the competition, Zhang Yuan bought some energy drinks and handed the lime-flavored one to Guan Sha Sha who was still sulking. Guan Sha Sha took it and drank a big gulp, her face still puffed up. You're cheating. She sat on the swing and swung her legs, her face full of resentment. She didn't expect that she had suppressed Zhang Yuan for 3 years, but was surpassed in the last stage of senior year. Zhang Yuan laughed. When did I cheat? Don't talk nonsense. I don't care, this time doesn't count. Let's compete again when the college entrance examination comes. Guan Sha Sha stared at Zhang Yuan and said stubbornly, let's compete to see who gets the highest score in the dungeon secret realm. The one with the lower score will be the servant of the one with the higher score for a day. You want to play so big? Humph, I just ask if you dare. I can, Zhang Yuan said, his eyes swept over Guan Sha Sha. I have to say, this girl is really beautiful now. A head of shiny black hair tied into a bun, snow-white skin, delicate and flawless little face, slender snow neck, and a branded black top can't hide her curvy figure. The slender waist perfectly interprets what it means to have slender limbs and fruitful results. White sports shorts wrapped around the firm and tight buttocks, the snow-white thighs are full, and the calves are slender and tight. No wonder she is called the class flower. Zhang Yuan, if I win, I want you. Want me? Guan Sha Sha blushed and covered her chest. You, what are you talking about? Don't have any crooked ideas, be careful, my dad will beat you. He is now a third-level warrior. What are you thinking? If I win, I will let you wear a maid outfit for a day. Guan Sha Sha realized that she was overthinking, her face was slightly red, and she pretended to be calm. HMPH, let's talk about it after you win. The two finished their drinks, walked out of the park, and went to the station. How are Uncle Guan and Auntie doing recently? They are fine. What about Uncle Zhang? Hasn't he returned from the front line yet? No. There was a silence. Guan Sha Sha said, which martial arts university do you plan to apply to? With your current strength, you will definitely have no problem getting into a key university. Let's talk about it after the college entrance examination. Guan Sha Sha nodded and took out a bottle of medicine from her pocket. Here you go. Zhang Yuan took it and recognized it at a glance. Spirit replenishing liquid, a genetic medicine that can replenish potential, increase blood and qi, and repair fatigue. The market price is more than 100,000 yuan. Thank you. Zhang Yuan didn't say anything polite to her, just think of it as a favor owed to someone, and he would pay it back next time. You were really rude. Then I'll give it back to you. HMPH, there is no reason to take back what I gave away. Guan Sha Sha said arrogantly. Zhang Yuan smiled and was about to say something. Suddenly, a strange feeling came from the right. His expression changed slightly, and he pulled Guan Sha Sha, who was about to leave. Quote? Guan Sha Sha turned his head to look at Zhang Yuan in confusion, but found that he was looking at the right. What's wrong? Zhang Yuan didn't say anything, just staring at a single-family house on the right. The lights of the house were off, and it looked normal in the night. But in Zhang Yuan's perception, the house exuded an unpleasant atmosphere. After changing his job to martial god, his 5 senses and 6 consciousnesses became extremely sensitive, especially his intuition, which was enhanced several times after practicing the Xinwo breathing method. The strong intuition told him, there is something in that house. It's better not to meddle in other people's business. Zhang Yuan thought to himself, nothing, let's go. But just when he was about to leave with Guan Sha Sha, the door of the house suddenly slammed open. A black shadow rushed out quickly and pounced on the two people amid Guan Sha Sha's screams. Zhang Yuan frowned and punched forward. Bang! The black shadow was directly blown up, and a large amount of black mud splashed into the air, the ground, and the wall. In Guan Sha Sha's shocked eyes, the black mud gathered together as if it had life, twisting and changing, forming the appearance of a young man, holding a piece of a child's limb in his hand, with one eye facing up and the other facing down, and an indescribably weird expression. Food, he mumbled incoherently, and his clothes bulged from time to time. This horrific scene frightened Guan Sha Sha so much that his face turned pale, his legs trembled, and he trembled. First-level warrior. The strange young man exuded the momentum was undoubtedly that of a warrior. Looking at the child's body in his hand, and then looking into the door, Guan Sha Sha took a breath of cold air, and saw several corpses lying in the house, and blood dyed the walls on the ground red. The tragic scene almost made Guan Sha Sha vomit. It's over. I didn't expect to encounter the scene of a warrior killing a whole family. This time I will definitely be killed. Guan Sha Sha thought with some despair. Who are you? Dare to do such a thing in the city? Aren't you afraid of the inspection department? Zhang Yuan said coldly. His voice made Guan Sha Sha regain some rationality. She stared at the back of the boy standing in front of her at the moment, and didn't understand how he had the courage to stay so calm in front of a murderous warrior. Whoosh! Zhang Yuan was responded to by a sound of breaking through the air. Zhang Yuan turned his head to avoid it, but a small hole was shot out in the ground. Don't hide. The strange young man was covered in black mud. He raised his hand and waved it towards Zhang Yuan. A large amount of black mud whizzed towards him. The power of each drop was enough to penetrate the rock. Zhang Yuan kept swinging his fists and smashed all the black mud. After practicing the immortal body forging method, he tested the strength of his body now, which was comparable to E-level alloy. Guan Sha Sha, who was standing behind Zhang Yuan, looked at this scene with his eyes wide open, wondering if he was dreaming. The Zhang Yuan he knew was actually fighting with a warrior. Zhang Yuan, you, back off, Zhang Yuan said, and Guan Sha Sha finally reacted and hurriedly retreated 10 meters away, while calling the police. Hello, is this the patrol division? I am a student of Wudao Middle School. My classmates and I were attacked by warriors in Longhu community. Zhang Yuan glanced at this scene, put his mind at ease, and focused on the opponent in front of him. The body can turn into muddy liquid, like a natural system. It seems that this is his innate ability. Suddenly, Zhang Yuan saw the flesh and blood on the side of the young man's face change like a worm, revealing an eye. This strange scene made him frown. The next second, the single eye flashed purple light, and Zhang Yuan's head hurt. Mental attack, but it was only a moment. As Zhang Yuan used the fire-breathing method, the discomfort disappeared immediately. Guan Sha Sha shouted to Zhang Yuan, Zhang Yuan, the inspection department will be here soon, don't be stubborn. Ah ah ah, the young man lowered his head and roared. In Guan Sha Sha's horrified eyes, his bones and muscles began to swell rapidly, and he completely turned into an inhuman alien with no human shape. In addition to a bloody mouth full of cracked teeth on his face, there was only the single eye, emitting a strange purple light. Zhang Yuan stared at the monster in front of him and said coldly, what on earth are you? The monster screamed, and its muscles continued to swell. Hiss. The monster hissed, and its muscles continued to expand. Guan Sha Sha covered her mouth in fear. What kind of monster is this? Zhang Yuan's eyes flickered slightly. Identify. He used the identification skill, and several entries instantly appeared on the head of the monster in front of him. Human warrior contaminated by the weird, LV7. Possessing the ability to devour and assimilate, has devoured several job changers, and can use multiple talents and skills. Judged as Abyss Monster. Monster. Zhang Yuan's eyes lit up. In other words, you can get experience points by killing it. The monster looked at Zhang Yuan, grinning, landing on all fours, and then slingshotted like a slingshot, instantly coming in front of Zhang Yuan, bringing a bloody and evil wind. Guan Sha Sha couldn't help but shout, be careful. Looking at the monster in front of him, Zhang Yuan did not choose to dodge, but showed a hint of excitement on his face. Since it was a monster from the abyss, he didn't have to hold back. He faced the monster and punched it. Bang! The two fists collided with each other. The violent wind pressure exploded, spreading outward from under the feet of the two people. Pop! The monster's right arm swelled instantly, and its right shoulder exploded with a bang. It tilted its head, seeming a little puzzled. Guan Sha Sha's face was even more dull, and his brain crashed for several seconds. Ah, the aura and murderous intent of the monster could make her tremble from a distance. It was undoubtedly a first-level warrior, but Zhang Yuan blocked it and broke half of its body. This. Zhang Yuan ignored Guan Sha Sha's shock. Seeing that the monster's body was about to regenerate and reorganize, he clenched his left hand into a fist to accumulate power. The blood-red blood wrapped around his arm layer by layer. Then, punched out. With the help of the ripple force method, the punch with a damage of over 10,000 hit the monster's abdomen heavily, making a huge explosion. The terrifying force exploded on its back. The LV7 monster was directly penetrated by this punch, and the entire upper body exploded. The hair was dancing wildly in the wind, and Guan Sha Sha was also messy in the wind. The delicate little face was full of shock and dullness, and her mouth was as big as a duck egg. Degree row degree. This. Am I really not dreaming? A bit weak, Zhang Yuan whispered, not feeling very satisfied. After changing his job to martial god, he felt that his desire to fight seemed to be getting stronger day by day, and he wanted to fight some powerful beasts. Ding! You killed a LV7 abyss monster and gained experience plus 700. Ding! Your level is upgraded, the current level is LV1, all attributes plus 10, and you get 10 free attribute points. Ding! Your level is upgraded, the current level is LV2, all attributes plus 10, and you get 10 free attribute points. Several prompts sounded in Zhang Yuan's mind, and before he could react, a pure force appeared in his body out of thin air, and his blood and chi surged, breaking through the shackles in an instant. Guan Sha Sha saw that Zhang Yuan's momentum suddenly changed, and the red blood surged, forming a blood storm that wrapped around his body. The wind and waves made her take 2 steps back. Guan Sha Sha took 2 steps towards Zhang Yuan in a daze. Zhang Yuan, you. Zhang Yuan said in a daze. I seem to have upgraded. Guan Sha Sha opened her mouth wide. At this moment, the half-body of the dead monster suddenly bulged, and it exploded with a snap, and blood rained all over the sky. A thin black and red flesh as big as a finger was mixed in the blood rain, squirming and splitting into 2 halves, flying towards Zhang Yuan and Guan Sha Sha in the distance. Zhang Yuan became more alert when he sensed the danger, and he noticed it the moment it flew over, and punched it into slag. But Guan Sha Sha was not so alert, and was still in shock, watching the polluted flesh and blood about to touch her. Suddenly, a twisted force appeared out of thin air and completely wiped out the polluted flesh and blood. Zhang Yuan turned his head in surprise. A blue-haired woman with her eyes covered by black satin walked out of the shadows and walked under the street light, holding a 3-flavor ice cream in her hand. So that's it, it's the residual breath of the King Realm Abyss creatures. No wonder these warriors lost control and became violent. It turns out that they were contaminated. The woman's voice was pleasant. Looking at her, Guan Sha Sha was stunned. Zhang Yuan frowned slightly and asked alertly, who are you? Me, my name is Yan Runan, a beautiful young lady passing by. Female. The blue-haired woman laughed. Quote. Are you from the inspection department? Zhang Yuan said. Bingo. Wrong answer, I'm just helping people. Don't look at me like this, I'm still a college student. Yan Runan laughed. I was tracking it, but I didn't expect you to kill it first. I saw it all from the side. Little brother, you are very powerful. She looked at Zhang Yuan and admired him. Intuition told Zhang Yuan. The blue-haired woman in front of her who called herself Yan Runan and had a little jumpy mind was very strong. At least a 3rd-level transfer warrior or above. Especially the pair of eyes covered by the black forge, which was quite dangerous. Tisk tisk tisk, you haven't graduated yet. It's not easy to kill a monster that has reached LV7 before the college entrance examination. It's like my style back then. Yan Runan looked at Zhang Yuan and said, what are your names? Don't worry, I just want to report it truthfully. Your information will be hidden and it won't affect you. Quote. Guan Sha Sha. Zhang Yuan stared at her for 2 seconds and said, Zhang Yuan. Zhang Yuan and Guan Sha Sha, right. I've got it. You can go back first. You don't have to worry about the rest. Yan Runan said with a smile. Zhang Yuan glanced at her, walked to Guan Sha Sha, took her hand and took her away. When passing by Yan Runan said softly, are you interested in applying for Shenwu University? Zhang Yuan's eyes flickered. It turned out that she was a student of Shenwu University. Leave that area. Guan Sha Sha, who was still in extreme shock and had not recovered, was sent to the sky rail by Zhang Yuan. She had a lot of questions to ask, but she didn't ask them all, and she returned home in a daze. I'm back. Guan's father, who was sitting on the sofa, looked over and said, you're back. Yeah. Quote. Father Guan, have you seen Zhang Yuan? How is Zhang Yuan now? Can he go to a martial arts university? Guan Sha Sha recalled the scene of Zhang Yuan punching through a monster, pursed her lips, and said, he should be able to go to a top martial arts university. Father Guan was stunned. Ah. Wait, Xiao Xiao, what did you say? Top martial arts university, isn't Zhang Yuan's awakened talent only E? Hey, explain it clearly. After getting into the familiar bed, Guan Sha Sha recovered from the fear and shock of tonight and realized 2 things. First, although she didn't know what happened, Zhang Yuan did have the strength to rival a warrior. Tonight, he has even upgraded to a 1st-level warrior. Second, I seem to have to wear a maid outfit. After the house was completely cleaned, the police found that the house was completely cleaned. Late at night, the staff of the inspection department cleaned up the house thoroughly. In the office of the inspection department, Zhang Wei listened to Yan Runan's report and nodded. The contamination of the flesh and blood of the creatures in the King Realm Abyss, so this is how it is. No wonder there are so many riots in one day. Yan Runan ate the cake and said, there should be more than this amount of flesh and blood left. There should be a lot left in this city. This is not a trivial matter. If it is not handled properly, there will be big trouble. I will go to Commander Liu to discuss how to deal with this matter. Zhang Wei said, by the way, you said that before you arrived, the contaminated warrior had been dealt with. Who did it? I don't know him. He said his name is Zhang Yuan. Zhang Yuan. Zhang Wei shook his head. I haven't heard of him. Is he a registered warrior of the Warrior Association? In any case, he has helped us a lot. We can give him some rewards in the name of the inspection department. He should not be a registered warrior. No, Zhang Wei was puzzled. Yan Runin raised his head, with cream on the corner of his mouth, and looked at Zhang Wei and smiled. He seems to be a student of Wudao Middle School. Student, that should be rewarded even more, Zhang Wei said with relief. But after he said it, he reacted. Wait, you said he was a student. Thanks to Zhang Wei's relationship, Yan Runin quickly found Zhang Yuan's information. The results surprised her. You said he was a student in an ordinary class. The latest test of Qi and blood value was 3.332, awakened talent E level. The job change was also an ordinary assassin profession. Did you find the wrong person? Zhang Wei shook his head. It's impossible to find the wrong person. There is only one boy named Zhang Yuan in Nanjiang City Wudao Middle School who meets your description. Although his talent is very poor, he seems to be very talented in martial arts. Not long ago, he defeated a classmate who awakened B-level talent in the same class. Even so, it is impossible to kill a LV7 polluted warrior. On the contrary, another girl named Guan Sha Sha who was with him awakened A-level talent and rare profession, but she can't be the opponent of LV7 warriors. Quote, if no other warriors take action, the two of them will be killed. So you must have made a mistake. Yan Runin was silent for a few seconds, then raised his lips slightly. Interesting. After sending Guan Sha Sha home, Auntie's family was already resting. Zhang Yuan returned to the house, closed the door, and checked the upgraded panel. Character: Zhang Yuan. Race: human. Age: 17. Level: first level warrior LV2. Profession: God of War mythology. Talent: infinite amplification original supreme analysis God level burning wood fire E level. Physical strength: 1020. Strength: 1010. Speed: 990. Spirit: 1060. Luck: 5. Passive special essence. Limit of strength all attributes increased tenfold in normal state. Active skills: divine avoidance, starburst, super speed. Practice method: wave force technique, immortal body forging method SSS, fire breathing method SSS. Equipment: crimson wristband rare. Free attribute points 20. Hiss. Even Zhang Yuan himself was almost scared by such a panel. Not to mention LV2, even LV the 20th of may not have such panel attributes. Horror. It's really terrifying. After the shock, it was replaced by surprise. I didn't expect to have such an unexpected surprise when going out tonight. Now I can go to the abyss. Zhang Yuan thought excitedly, impatient. But before going to the abyss, I have to go to the Warrior Association to register and get the warrior badge. The remaining beast meat in the refrigerator must be eaten. Quote, use this time to prepare more strategies for the abyss. Soon, 3 days passed. That day, it was raining heavily outside, with lightning and thunder. Inside Chongming Martial Arts Hall. Who? Xu Yian finished a round of spear training, sweating profusely. Just a little bit more to break through the bottleneck and enter the 3rd level. Xu Yian looked at the alloy spear in her hand. The 3-star martial arts of her family, the sky-splitting spear technique, always lacked a trick to achieve perfection. She had a feeling that when her martial arts were perfected, I should be able to break through to the 3rd level warrior. There is no point in being anxious. The understanding of martial arts depends entirely on one's own understanding and a little bit of luck. Go take a shower first. Xu Yian came out of the bathroom, still emitting mist all over her body. She came to the window, wiped her hair while looking at the heavy rain outside the gym, and couldn't help sighing. It seems that no one is coming today. She glanced at the communicator on the chair and thought of the high school student named Zhang Yuan. Since that day, he has never come again. The president has not made any movement. Is he really not afraid that he will be poached? Thinking of this, Xu Yian couldn't help sighing again, looking up and leaning back, with a pair of thunders on his chest standing tall like mountains. Could he be poached by another martial arts gym? Ding, the president requests communication. Xu Yian was startled and quickly answered the call. Hello, it's me. Okay, I understand. I'll send him a message right away. On the other side, at Zhang Yuan's aunt's house. I seem to have grown taller, and my hair has grown a lot longer. Is it because of exercise? Zhang Yuan looked at himself in the mirror and said. The boy in the mirror was shirtless, with a height of 1.78 meters, well-proportioned and slender, with 8 distinct abdominal muscles, long black hair draped over his shoulders, and his skin was white and crystal clear as if transparent. His handsome and delicate face was calm, and his pupils were deep in a light golden color, full of invisible pressure. And this is just the surface. If it can be detected by instruments, it will be found that his body density is frighteningly high, and his bones all exude a light golden glass luster. In the past few days, all the beast meat in the house has been eaten. The gene medicine bought by Zhang Yuan and the liquid medicine sent by Guan Sha Sha have also been exhausted. In return, he practiced the immortal body forging method to the 4th form, and all the impurities in his body were expelled. His body gradually evolved into a glazed gold body, and the hardness of his skin alone was close to that of AD level alloy weapon. It's almost time to register as a warrior. Zhang Yuan thought to himself. Suddenly, the message box vibrated, and someone sent a message. I clicked it and saw that it was from the beautiful director of Chongming Martial Arts Hall. Xu Yian. Hello, classmate Zhang, do you still remember me? Do you have time to come to the martial arts hall today? Our president wants to meet you. Do you still want me to join the guild? Zhang Yuan thought about it. I can go and take a look. The usual quiet Chongming Martial Arts Hall. Today, several guests came, all women, with different styles. Is he coming? Asked the red-haired cold and beautiful sister Ji Feiyue. Xu Yian nodded. A short-haired beauty wearing suspenders and shorts, with bandages wrapped around her hands and a thin figure said excitedly, Great, I can see a handsome high school student with over 10,000 damage. Another quiet beauty wearing a wizard robe and lavender long hair sat in a seat, holding a pot of tea in both hands and drinking it slowly, with a staff at hand. Ji Feiyue said, I have investigated the high school student named Zhang Yuan. During the awakening ceremony some time ago, he only awakened his E-level talent and changed his job to an ordinary assassin. Even if he became a first-level warrior, he could not deal more than 10,000 damage. I saw it with my own eyes, it is absolutely correct. Xu Yian assured. Ji Feiyue nodded, her red eyes flickering. If what you said is right, it means that he has hidden his talent and profession. But why did he do this? The short-haired beauty asked puzzledly. Isn't it good to show his talent and get more resources? I heard that on the day of the awakening ceremony, a suicide attack by Abyss believers occurred at Wudao High School, killing a female teacher on the spot and seriously injuring some students. Ji Feiyue's eyes flickered. So, he chose to hide in order to avoid the attack of the Abyss believers. Xu Yian guessed. Ji Feiyue nodded. If so, it means that his awakened talent is so amazing that he needs to be hidden. While the few people were talking, a young man walked in the rain with an umbrella and stopped at the entrance of the martial arts hall. The automatic door opened and an artificial voice sounded. Welcome to Chongming Martial Arts Hall. Several people looked up and looked outside. I'm here. Zhang Yuan walked into the martial arts hall and was slightly stunned when he saw several people. Welcome, classmate Zhang. Xu Yian smiled. Let me introduce you. This is the president of our guild, a 5th-level strongman with an epic and rare auxiliary profession. Hello. Ji Feiyue, with red hair, beautiful face, and looking extremely cold, stretched out her hand to Zhang Yuan and smiled. Ji Feiyue. Zhang Yuan. Zhang Yuan stretched out his hand and shook her hand, and his hand felt as smooth as jade. Lan Shui, 3rd level, light mage. The quiet beauty with lavender long hair said. My name is Roy, 2nd level, and my profession is fighter. The short-haired beauty came up to Zhang Yuan, excitedly held his hand, looked at him with shining eyes and said, Yi Han is really telling the truth, he is much more handsome than I thought. Do you have a girlfriend? Calm down, don't scare him away. Xu Yihan grabbed her collar and pulled her back to her original position, and said to Zhang Yuan, my profession is a magic-breaking spearman, 2nd level. Ji Fei smiled and said, in addition to them, our Blood Rose Guild has 2 members, 1 man and 1 woman. The man is a 3rd level Big Shield, and the woman is an assassin, 3rd level. At this stage, there are a total of 6 people. This is the situation of our guild. Zhang Yuan nodded slightly. I believe Yi Han has also told you that our guild now needs a member with super burst damage. Mr. Zhang, I'll get straight to the point. Are you a rare profession? Zhang Yuan was stunned for a moment. Why do you ask that? Ji Fei smiled and said, because if it's not a rare profession, it's impossible to deal more than 10,000 damage before becoming a warrior. To be honest, I have also investigated you a little bit. I can be sure that you have not awakened an E-level talent, and you are not an ordinary assassin. Looking at Ji Fei's scarlet eyes that seemed to be able to see through people's hearts, Zhang Yuan did not speak. Ji Fei took a step forward and got close to Zhang Yuan, and the alluring aroma hit her face. For me, money is not a problem. My dream is to build the best guild in the country. I know you are not a warrior yet, but it doesn't matter. As long as you have S-level talent, or transfer to a rare or higher hidden profession, if you can meet our needs, we are willing to spend time and resources to train you, and we can also sign an A-level contract with you. In addition to the income in the Abyss, you can get an additional income of 10 million per year. What do you think? Zhang Yuan didn't speak yet. Shu Yian suddenly spoke, with a shocked tone. Wait, you became a warrior. Ji Fei was stunned, and Roy and Lan Shui also noticed that the blood and qi in the boy in front of them were simply terrifyingly rich. Can I ask you now? What level? LV2. Zhang Yuan said, there is nothing to hide. Several people were slightly shocked when they heard this, and Shu Yian was even more shocked. How long has it been since he became a warrior? There are not many first-level warriors in the whole Nanjiang city. Ji Fei's evaluation of Zhang Yuan in his heart has increased again, and he asked, Student Zhang, can you see your current damage? Yes. Zhang Yuan also wanted to try his current damage. Under the gaze of several people, he came to the combat power test machine and punched out. Bang! The sound was like a dull thunder. The whole combat power test machine trembled. The numbers jumped rapidly and finally stopped. Looking at the string of numbers that popped up, Shu Yian's pupils contracted and his mouth opened uncontrollably. 34,922. 35,000. Lie. Roy couldn't believe it. Lan Shui couldn't help but cover her mouth. Ji Fei stared at Zhang Yuan. Her heart was far from calm as she looked on the surface. Because this value is too exaggerated. Even for a second-level warrior at LV19, the maximum damage is difficult to reach 30,000. He is only LV2, and from the looks of him, it seems that he hasn't used his full strength yet. Zhang Yuan looked at the damage value with a calm expression on his face. Now his strength has exceeded 1,000, and the damage caused by the basic strength has exceeded 10,000. The ripple force is doubled, plus the 50% damage increase brought by the fire-breathing method and the blessing of the scarlet wristband. Let him reach the level of 35,000 basic damage without using any skills. If the skill of Martial God is used again, the single damage will exceed 100,000 is not a problem, and a second-level boss probably has only 300,000 HP. Student Zhang, you. Shu Yian even stuttered. The short-haired beauty Roy muttered to herself blankly. Even if I use my skills, the maximum damage I can deal is only 40,000, Ji Fei looked at Zhang Yuan, and her eyes changed a little, becoming extremely hot, as if looking at a treasure. Monster. Absolutely monster. Student Zhang, I have changed my mind. If you are willing to join us, Blood Rose, I can give you an S-level contract. In addition to the extra income from killing monsters in the Abyss, I can give you an extra 100 million every year, and there is no restriction on your activities. As long as you can go to the dungeon with us when we need you, it will be fine. Quote. After hearing Ji Fei's words, not only Zhang Yuan was stunned, but even Shu Yian and the others were shocked. With such conditions, basically even a 7th-level strongman can be recruited. But now she is using it to recruit a high school student of level 2. If others hear it, they will definitely think she is joking. Ji Fei stared at Zhang Yuan, but her firm eyes revealed that she was not joking. If you are willing, we can sign the contract now. In the end, Zhang Yuan couldn't resist the temptation of money. There was no way, the conditions she offered were too generous. That was a real 100 million. It was extra. I had free time for activities, so signing this contract would not be a loss for me at all. After signing the 3-year contract, Ji Feiyue showed a beautiful smile on her face and extended her hand to Zhang Yuan. Welcome to join the Blood Rose. 100 million will be transferred to your account later. If you need anything else, just tell me. Whether it is martial arts, potions, or equipment, as long as it is not too top level, I can help. During your college entrance examination, we will never disturb you. Including if you are admitted to Wuhan University, we will not force you unless you have free time during your studies and unless you voluntarily go to the abyss with the group. Don't worry about these. Zhang Yuan nodded and let go of her hand. A few days ago, he was still worried about money, but he didn't expect to become a billionaire a few days later, which made him a little dazed. Okay, without further ado, as a celebration of the newcomer joining, let's go to the abyss now. Roy said excitedly. I'm afraid this won't work. I haven't got the warrior badge yet. Zhang Yuan said embarrassedly. Ah, okay. Roy's enthusiasm was extinguished at once. Lan Shui spoke softly. I remember Aisha seems to work in the Warrior Association. Xu Yian clapped his hands. Yes, I will contact her now. You can go directly to her later. When do you plan to go? Probably today, but before I go. Zhang Yuan said to Xu Yian, I want to borrow the gravity room first. Of course, no problem, but our martial arts school is not large, the funds are limited, and we only have a pressure room with 1 times the gravity. Xu Yian said embarrassedly. This kind of pressure room is very expensive, 1 times the gravity costs tens of millions, and those that can be adjusted to 3 times or 4 times the gravity cost hundreds of millions, and only some large martial arts schools can afford to buy them. Enough. As long as it's free, it's fine. Anyway, I can't afford those 3 times or 4 times. After the alloy door slowly closed, Lan Shui looked at Ji Feiyue. President, are the conditions you offered him a bit too generous? Is it really worth it? Of course it's worth it, don't doubt my judgment. Do you really think he used all his strength just now? Roy was shocked. Isn't that his full strength? Ji Feiyue shook her head, her eyes flickering, and said affirmatively, I dare to guarantee that he can become the biggest dark horse in this college entrance examination and shock everyone. I should have made a big profit by tying such a genius to our Blood Rose Guild with an S-level contract. Xu Yian and the other girls did not doubt her words, but were shocked by Zhang Yuan's strength. President, when should Shido and Reina meet him? Wait until the next guild event. I recently learned that a new level 4 dungeon has been released in the suburbs. Some guilds are trying to find out the news. If you can clear it for the first time, you will definitely get a generous reward. Level 4, will it be a bit difficult? Xu Yian said. Yes, but the danger is still within the tolerable range. Anyway, wait for my news. After the conversation, the few people left. Zhang Yuan was completely unaware of the movement outside. It was his first time to experience the gravity room, and he practiced the 5th form of the immortal body forging method under double gravity. Even with his current physique, he only lasted for 20 seconds before he was completely exhausted. He lay on the metal floor in a big letter shape, gasping for breath, and used the fire-breathing method to restore his strength. The speed of practice has increased by nearly double. Zhang Yuan sighed. No wonder those rich people who control resources can improve their blood and qi so quickly when they exercise. The training environment really improves the martial artist. Superior training methods, top-level training environment, and even special nutritionists, conditioning therapists, and medicines to replenish potential. Even a pig can become a martial artist. Fortunately, he has become a rich man now, and he has the ability to enjoy such high-end conditions. Right, Zhang Yuan suddenly remembered. I have become a first-level warrior now. Do I have another chance to use infinite amplification? He checked immediately and found that infinite amplification was indeed on, which meant it could be used. Use it immediately. Ding, you use infinite amplification E-level heaven. Give the burning wood fire a 100,000-fold increase, and obtain the SS level talent, Flame of the Purifying Universe. Ding, your talent is perfectly compatible with the fire-breathing method, triggering a miracle with a 0.001% probability, and the SS level talent, Flame of the Purifying Flame evolves into the SSS level talent, Undead Phoenix Flame. Zhang Yuan jumped up from the ground in shock. SSS level talent. Zhang Yuan looked at the introduction on the system panel with excitement. SSS level natural sequence talent, Undead Phoenix Flame, the Nirvana fire that combines life and death at the same time, contains extreme destruction and extreme vitality, has terrifying power, purifies everything, and can burn everything in the universe with the host's thought, and can also repair all wounds and regenerate broken limbs. Zhang Yuan couldn't help swallowing his saliva. This is the SSS level talent. Strong, really too strong. He raised his palm, and with a thought, a wisp of scarlet and black flames rose up, as if it could burn everything in the world. Chi-chi. The water vapor evaporated into smoke, the air was charred and produced arcs, the temperature of the pressure chamber rose rapidly, and just breathing in the air felt like burning the throat. But Zhang Yuan did not feel any discomfort. He picked up a dumbbell next to him and placed it on the flame in his palm, and it instantly turned into molten iron. This is the immortal Phoenix Flame, what a terrifying power. Zhang Yuan could feel that this wisp of flame alone could burn a first-level warrior to ashes. He flicked his finger and bounced the flame onto the wall. This time he did not want to destroy it, and the flame obediently restrained its destructive power and burned quietly. The more you look at the picture, the more you will see. Too perfect. Zhang Yuan sighed. No wonder he was classified as an SSS level player. With my current strength, even burning a 100-story building is not a problem. It seems that I underestimated those geniuses who awakened SS level and SSS level talents. The talents of these top-level players are even more abnormal than I thought. Zhang Yuan sighed. I finally understand why those top universities and forces would cultivate top-level talented warriors who transfer to rare professions at all costs. Because the gap between them and ordinary warriors is too big. Once they are cultivated, they are the core of the team, the hope of mankind to resist the abyss. With SSS level natural talent, that martial god profession of mythical job transfer, and the skills I am practicing now, even if I look at my peers around the world, I am definitely the best among the best. Give me some time, not to mention the top genius in the first echelon of the world, even the old strong ones, I can fight. Zhang Yuan whispered to himself. When he said this, his momentum reached its peak, and he underwent some transformation, full of shocking deterrence. In front of Zhang Yuan now, a person with insufficient spirit is enough to tremble with fear with just one look, and even faint on the spot. If there are high-level warriors present, they will be surprised to find that it is the prototype of will pressure. Often warriors with non-spiritual sequence talents need to reach the 5th level to attract a sublimation of will and master their own martial arts will. Will can actually affect the outside world and form pressure. High-level warriors can make low-level warriors unable to move just by will pressure. Only a very small number of low-level warriors who have reached the limit of their character and spirit can touch the threshold of martial arts will. At this moment, Zhang Yuan did not notice. The transformation of his aura ignored the barrier of the metal wall and continued to spread outward. A few minutes later, when Zhang Yuan obtained the immortal Phoenix Flame, several people came to Chongming Martial Arts Hall. The middle-aged fat man in the lead smiled and said, "Director Shu, long time no see." Xu Yian's face turned cold when he saw the visitor, like frost. "Wang Xinlong, it's you again." Wang Xinlong, the director of Thunder Martial Arts Hall, walked over with his people and smiled at the empty martial arts hall. "It's so quiet, Director Shu, you haven't recruited a single disciple in 2 months, have you?" "It has nothing to do with you, what are you doing here?" "Don't you know what I'm doing here?" "Of course, I'm here to get back the B-level alloy weapon that your father borrowed from our Thunder Martial Arts School." "I told you that you are slandering me, my father never said anything about it." Xu Yian's chest was heaving with anger. "It's no use trying to deny it." Wang Xinlong looked around with his hands behind his back. "It was more lively here when Brother Shu was here, I studied here for a while. What a pity, with the death of Brother Shu, this place is also abandoned." "Watch your mouth. My father is not dead yet. He will come back one day." Xu Yian's voice was low and his eyes were cold, and several people felt a surge of momentum coming towards them. Wang Xinlong's smile remained unchanged, but the 3 first-level warriors behind him turned pale and felt uncomfortable. "You are close to becoming a 3rd-level warrior. You are worthy of being Brother Shu's daughter. If you hadn't dropped out of school to inherit the martial arts school, you would have become a third-level warrior 2 years ago. What a pity. Wang Xinlong pretended to be regretful, and his small eyes swept over Shu Yian's graceful and slender body with greedy eyes. Director Shu, if you don't want to return the weapon, you can. As long as you follow my proposal last time, you can marry into our Wang family with your family's sky-splitting spear, and the 2 martial arts schools will merge, and your martial arts school's debt to my family will be written off. This is the best way for both parties to win. Shu Yian felt disgusted when he looked at him, and said coldly. Wang Xinlong, don't dream about it. The fat man spread his hands, then there is nothing we can do. His small eyes turned cold, revealing a hint of evil. You are shameless. Today you either close the martial arts hall or hand over your family's sky-splitting gun. Shu Yian stared at Wang Xinlong in front of him, wishing he could stab him to death with a shot. Although he was a third-level warrior, he was 100% built up by tonics, and his blood and chi were quite weak. Shu Yian was 100% sure to beat him. The reason why he endured it was not because he was afraid of him, but because he was afraid of the person who supported him behind him, Wang Xinlong's father, Wang Tai. Thunder Martial Arts Hall. A 6th-rank warrior. In Nanjing City, a 6th-rank warrior is considered a big shot, and he will be respected wherever he goes. Until the end, Shu Yian did not want to involve Blood Rose because of his personal affairs. Don't look at me like that, it will only make me more excited. Wang Xinlong grinned, revealing a mouthful of yellow teeth. How about it? Have you considered it? Repay the money, or sell the martial arts hall to pay off the debt. Or, if you accompany me once, I can consider postponing the time for a month. Wang Xinlong's eyes were wanton, and the eyes of several young men behind him looking at Shu Yian were also dishonest, full of desire and evil thoughts. Shameless. Shu Yian's face was gloomy. Aren't you afraid that I will report you to the Warrior Association? Report me. Wang Xinlong laughed. It is only natural to pay back debts. You are slandering me. There is no evidence at all. There is no evidence, but there are rules for opening a martial arts school. I will bring my disciples to challenge you to compete, and the loser will take down the sign and force you to close. Is that not okay? Wang Xinlong said proudly. If you have the ability, you can also send your disciples to fight. Why do you open a martial arts school without disciples? Hull, don't you think so? The director is right. A short middle-aged warrior licked, relying on Wang Xinlong's support, looked at Shu Yian and sneered. If you ask me, our director likes you, and he is giving you face. With our director's background and strength, he can find any woman he wants. No matter how strong you are as a woman, if you don't go down to the abyss or go to the battlefield, what's the point of guarding this broken martial arts hall? Well said, ha ha ha. Wang Xinlong and others laughed wantonly. Shu Yian gritted his teeth and was so angry. You have guts. I Shu Yian will remember the humiliation today. Don't give me a chance. At this moment, an invisible pressure came from the pressure room and swept over the bodies of several people. The laughter of the laughing young men stopped abruptly, their faces turned pale, and they turned their heads to look around in fear. They only felt that there was a terrible sense of oppression just now, as if a big hand grabbed their hearts, making their hair stand on end. What was that just now? Did you feel it too? What a terrible feeling. Wang Xinlong's smile also disappeared from his face. He looked at the direction of the pressure chamber, surprised and suspicious. Is this will pressure? Or mental shock? Psychological warriors are very rare, and generally only warriors above level 5 can awaken will pressure. Could it be that there are masters in this martial arts hall? Wang Xinlong glanced at Shu Yian, but found that she was also looking at the direction of the pressure chamber with a shocked expression. Caw. In the shocked eyes of several people, the metal door of the pressure chamber slowly opened. A handsome boy walked out of it, looking at several people with pale golden eyes indifferently. Who are you? The two of them were shocked. A high school student. Several people were extremely surprised. Wang Xinlong's small eyes were fixed on Zhang Yuan, who came out. Could it be that the will pressure just now was from him? No, it's impossible. That's right. He must have awakened his spiritual talent. That must be the case. Who are they? Zhang Yuan walked up to Shu Yian and asked. Shu Yian briefly told the story. After listening, Zhang Yuan understood the ins and outs of the matter. He nodded, looked at Wang Xinlong and the others and said, "You want to challenge the martial arts school, right? My name is Zhang Yuan. I can be considered a disciple of this martial arts school and can fight on behalf of this martial arts school." Xu Yian looked at him in surprise. Wang Xinlong said with a smile, "Little classmate, don't joke. I have investigated. This martial arts school has not recruited any disciples in the past 2 months. I see that your blood and qi have been well trained. You should also be preparing for the college entrance examination. I advise you not to get involved in muddy water. It will be bad if you get injured and affect the college entrance examination. I am Wang Xinlong, the director of Leiting Martial Arts School. Tell me my name. Next time you come to our martial arts school to train and find a sparring partner, I will give you free training." Zhang Yuan said impatiently, "I don't need it. Stop talking nonsense. If you don't want to fight, leave quickly and don't affect my practice." Xu Yian interrupted, "That's right." Wang Xinlong's expression became gloomy. "Boy, I gave you a chance for the sake of being a student. But you didn't cherish it. Okay, I'll give you a chance to be a hero in front of a beautiful woman and see what you can do. Let me tell you in advance that my disciples are all warriors who have killed beasts and seen blood. They are not comparable to your classmates in school. If you think you can win by relying on your talent, then wait for injuries and hospitalization. Don't bother with it." Zhang Yuan looked at the people behind Wang Xinlong and said, "Who will go up?" Under the gaze of those light golden eyes, the short and thin middle-aged men all felt a strong sense of oppression and broke out in cold sweat. What's wrong with this kid? How can a high school student have such a strong momentum? I am a warrior, and I actually felt fear in a student. It's a bit weird. Wang Xinlong said with a gloomy face, "Don't be fooled by him. His awakened talent must be the spiritual system." Hearing his words, the few people felt relieved. "Song Chao, you go." "Yes." The tall and thin young man stepped forward and looked at Zhang Yuan with an arrogant face. "Boy, do you think you can scare us with some mental means? Don't say I won't give you a chance, it's not too late to admit defeat now." Zhang Yuan said calmly, "Come on. Are the kids nowadays so ignorant? They even dare to provoke a transferred warrior." Song Chao sneered, "I'll show you how big the gap is between ordinary people and transferred warriors." After he finished speaking, he kicked his feet, and the lightning arc flashed under his feet, bringing a gust of wind straight to Zhang Yuan, and his palm whistled towards Zhang Yuan's head. The short and thin middle-aged man crossed his arms and smiled, he won. With Song Chao's speed, he didn't even have the chance to use his talent. Another man with a crew cut smiled sinisterly, "That kid can forget about the college entrance examination. After being hit by Song Chao, he should go to the hospital and lie down for half a year." Zhang Yuan looked calm and raised his hand to slap him. Pa! A figure flew out from their ears like a cannonball, and the wind blew up the clothes and hair of several people. Bang! With a sound, a big hole was smashed in the wall, and dust filled the air. The tall and thin figure was buried in the rubble, with only the legs exposed. Caw caw caw. Turning their heads stiffly, the two stared blankly at the boy who was still standing there. The cigarette in Wang Xinlong's mouth fell to the ground. The short and thin middle-aged man took a breath and said dully, Am I not seeing things?" Song Chao was killed in an instant. The man with the buzz cut was also shocked, staring blankly with his mouth open. Zhang Yuan looked at Wang Xinlong and said calmly, "You trained such a weak warrior. It seems that your martial arts school is not that good." Wang Xinlong's eyes were gloomy, staring at him intently. "You are also a warrior." "I didn't say I'm not a warrior." Zhang Yuan picked up the iron spear on the ground with his foot, held the end of the spear, pointed at the remaining two people and said lightly, "Who will come next, or will we go together?" Wang Xinlong clenched his fists, angry, furious and shocked. "Really careless. I thought it was just a kid who had trained his blood to 7 or 8 points, but I didn't expect that he was actually in the college entrance examination. A genius who has become a professional martial artist before. Moreover, he can kill Song Chao in one move, so his fighting power should not be underestimated. He has awakened his A-level talent and changed his job to a rare profession. Where did Xu Yian recruit such a top-level genius? What on earth does he like about this broken martial arts hall?" Wang Xinlong's eyes swept over Xu Yian's body. "I understand." She must have seduced him with her body, this stinky fool. The two short and thin old men asked in panic, Director, what should we do now? Should we go together? How would I know? Wang Xinlong really wanted to get mad, but when he saw Xu Yiyan holding an E-level alloy spear next to him, he looked murderous. He gave up and didn't want to make a big fuss. Anyway, he had already lost face. Forget it, I'll accept the loss. Wang Xinlong looked at Xu Yiyan, and said with a fake smile, Director Xu is really capable. He quietly recruited a good disciple. Chongming Martial Arts School is going to rise. Xu Yiyan said, you don't need to worry about it. Zhang Yuan said calmly, since we won, please keep your promise, Director Wang, and don't make trouble again. Ha ha ha, classmate, you are wrong. I'm not here to make trouble. I'm just sparring in the martial arts school. Wang Xinlong said hypocritically, as for the B-level alloy weapon, it is worth tens of millions after all. If we just let it go, my old man and I can't justify it. Besides, I am not prepared today, and I brought a few useless disciples. Xu Yiyan's face was cold, she knew it was not so easy to solve. So what do you want? Let's do this. 5 days later, we will both send our best disciples to compete in the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. If you win this time, I will never mention alloy weapons again. Wang Xinlong's eyes flashed with cunning light, and if I win, your martial arts hall will belong to me. Xu Yiyan sneered, you won't send second-level or even third-level warriors to fight, right? Wang Xinlong laughed, how is that possible? Doing so will only ruin the reputation of our martial arts hall. Xu Yiyan looked at Zhang Yuan and saw him nod, so he said to Wang Xinlong. Okay, I'll take it. Wang Xinlong's fat face showed a smile of success. Okay, then 5 days later, I will wait for you at the Thunder Martial Arts Hall. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.